All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gaze of Our Lives. Like dice through the dice tower, these are the gaze of our lives. We are a group of therapists, educators, and spiritual leaders playing queer tabletop RPGs in order to embrace our identities, build community, and share the magic of playing queer games with queer people. Gaze of Our Lives streams every other Sunday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will play queer games with queer characters and then talk about our experience. Want to know how to use games to build space for your queer clients? Check us out as we discuss how each game can benefit the queer communities we work with. And so our announcements are we're just having our Friday night cast stream of Kids on Brooms. And you want to learn more about that, check out our Twitch channel, check out our YouTube channel for sure. I'm gonna do a shout out to the creator of Grand Guignol, Luke with Wildwood Games. Thank you so much, Luke, for creating this game. We absolutely love it. And you can keep an eye out on Possum Creek Games for more on edition 2 of Grand Guignol. And we'll put a link in the comments for you guys. So here's what you missed last session. In our London filled with choking mist, the sound of industrial looms, secret laneways, taverns and theaters and dens of vice, we caught up with our players. Persephone the Gate, Kavi the Scholar, Ezra the Beast, and Baako the Hunter. The scene began in Kavi's basement lab, where they were investigating Baako's uncle's journal. And from the information in the journal, Kavi was able to make new potions to test Ezra's beast. And with Persephone's help, Ezra was able to pick the right vial and come to terms with her beast. After Ezra and Persephone left, Baako was able to get Kavi to rest. And then later, Kavi received warnings and threats about Ezra from Detective James Monroe of the Scotland Yard. Meanwhile, Baako and Ezra went out to explore the Mara textile factory, where they found and fought some creatures, and they captured one for Kavi to experiment on. Later, Ezra and Persephone were able to find some time alone to further explore their relationship, and Ezra was captured by the Scotland Yard, and Persephone was captured by her father, Ambrose Mara. And now we're going to find out what happens next. And this is finale, so it's going to be pretty amazing. All right, so let's start with just saying hello. We'll do our hello ritual. I am Tennille.
Hello, Tennille.
And thank you. And I play Kavi.
Hello, Kavi.
Hi, Kavi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Kayla.
Hi, Kayla.
Hi, Kayla.
And
Hi, Kayla.
And I play Ezra.
Hello, Ezra.
Hi, Ezra.
Hi, Ezra.
Hi, I'm Jessie.
Hi, Jessie.
Hi, Jessie.
And I'm playing Baako.
Hi, Baako.
Hi, Baako.
And my name is Hallie.
Hi, Hallie.
Hi, Hallie.
Not Haley.
Not Haley. And I am playing Persephone.
Hello, Persephone.
Hi, Persephone.
Hello, Persephone. All right. And we have some check-in questions for today. So as player, what hopes or concerns do you have for today? And as character, how are you feeling about events from last session? Is there anything you fear happening this session? Hopes or concerns. I think my hope for today is to just have fun, just be open to spontaneous things happening. I have a feeling I'm going to learn some things that I did not expect. And we'll see where the chips fall. They tend to fall in an interesting and fun way. So I'm looking forward to it. And any feelings about events from last session? Is there anything I fear happening this session? I think that, Kavi was very excited to get that beast, and to be able to learn more about it. Because I think that was basically the next step for Kavi, was to get that creature and to learn more about the creature and how they work. And so, this will be a lot of great things, and I think this will really excite them. They don't know that Ezra and Persephone have gone missing. So I wouldn't say that they're afraid of that right now. But I have a feeling that it's going to come out, because Kavi will be sending messages to Ezra and Persephone, and they won't be getting it. And Kavi's going to be like, what is going on here? So eventually it will all come out. But we'll see how that happens.
What hopes or concerns do I have? I am just looking forward to ending a really great story. So I'm really looking forward to that. Putting an ending to it and including it. How are you feeling about events from last session? I mean, I don't know where Ezra is, so I'm a little suspicious. So we'll see. We'll see. Ezra's probably very confused and very angry. So, and worried, I'm sure.
For me, my hopes for today is that we're able to come up with a good ending for these characters for now, and just seeing the story have a complete end. Baako, feelings for today. Baako also doesn't know what happened to Ezra and Persephone, so there's not really a lot of worries or fears for them, but for, I guess, fears around figuring out what's going on with these beasts and how that's going to affect how we interact with everything going forward.
That was all of your questions, right? Sorry.
Yep.
So as myself, what hopes or concerns do I have for today? My hopes are that all 4 of our protagonists have happy endings, but I'm concerned that they won't. I don't know. Like in a story like this, I feel like it's rare for there to be all happy, like riding off into the sunset endings. But I don't know. And as Persephone, how am I feeling about events from last session? Very mixed feelings. She was able to move the relationship with Ezra forward. They took a huge step in their relationship, and it was immediately overshadowed by Scotland Yard and her father, which some people don't know about that yet, but and just being basically kidnapped, late person cat. I don't know, whatever the real word is for that when you're not a child. And so is there anything that Persephone fears happening this session? Not being able to get back to Ezra, and she's going to be really worried about Ezra and worried that Ezra's not okay, which, I mean, no one's okay right now. At least not the two of them. There's feelings.
Right.
There's a
It's
lot of
like
feelings.
just after you like confess your love, that it's
And
like
consummate the
you're split.
relationship.
Then you're split.
And there was a horse cop. So there's feelings. So
Right. Yeah. So I will quickly review our lines and veils, just, since this is the finale. And so our line is sexual violence, any explicit depictions of animal death or torture and racism. And our veils are homophobia, transphobia, depictions of physical and verbal violence. And that's it, unless there's anything more that we'd like to add before we step in.
just that, we do intend to actually go in some difficult directions with this. So I guess it's a little bit of a content warning for anyone watching. But we also are working to check in with each other and make sure that everyone's okay. But this story does go there and kind of explore some of those themes. So hence veils.
Yes. Thanks for that. All right, then. I think we're ready to jump into our opening scene.
Yes. So I've been thinking about what happens with Persephone. And so I kind of feel like our last couple episodes we started with Baako and Kavi, or some combination of one or the other. And so Persephone's gonna start this one, and it's gonna start out as a flashback before she wakes up, and we have a special guest joining us for this. I think that this is a good time to bring them in.
Sounds good.
Hello.
Hey.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Jennifer Andrus. I'm a marriage family therapy associate in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I will be playing Ambrose Mora, he, him, this evening, Persephone's father.
Welcome, Jen and Ambrose.
Thank you so much for doing this. I really
Yes,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
No problem.
So
Y'all are
happy.
welcome.
So in my mind canon, I feel like she's probably just brought back to the family estate, but I don't know. Like, that's up to you, Jen, as the setting. And we were talking about using blood that flows, because we're giving wealth and privilege teeth, offering power with bloody strings attached, putting people in their place. And I feel like we're starting with a flashback to when she was younger, before she left the family. Do you want me to start with a little bit of narrative?
Yeah, I was gonna say, kind of start us off on the narrative of what was that moment that you were found out, and how that played to the flashback we are in right now.
Okay, so we could probably use the same playbook, because I imagine it's also at the estate. So we'll probably need someone to play someone else, if that's okay. And so in my mind, Persephone is maybe in the garden or in the servants' quarters or something like that. I'm not quite certain, but her powers awoke because she kissed a girl. And so if anyone wants to be that girl.
Is that girl a servant or?
She can be. I haven't really figured that part out, but it would make sense because she probably wasn't able to leave her house very often.
So you want the flashback to be that moment?
Yes.
Okay. Since I play Ezra, someone else can play the servant.
It might be a little weird.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with playing her.
Okay. So, Jen, I don't know. So I said like maybe they'd be like you can kind of pick where they would be in the estate, and I don't know if you want to tell us what it looks like.
Well, I figure this part to leave up to you, like the where you got caught scene, because that seems like more you and your character. You just tell me where you got caught, and then I will take over from there.
Where I got caught. So I feel like this probably isn't the first time that this has happened, or that Persephone has sought out this person. I don't know. Tennille, do you want to give them a name?
Oh.
How about Heather?
Heather.
Okay, Heather. So to kind of set the scene a little bit, in like this time, a lot of time in this time period, it wasn't uncommon for the help to live on the property in servants' quarters, either within the main estate, but like downstairs or upstairs, or in like another cottage on the land or something. So Persephone would have known Heather for quite a while, and they probably would have started out as friends, and then it blossomed into more at some point. So I'm thinking that Persephone is active. She's like a teenager, mid to late teens, probably 16 to 18, and she is in the garden actively looking for Heather. And because it's an easy place to be hidden from the parents.
Yeah, and I could see Heather gathering some flowers for the vases for inside. And it's, I guess in my head, like it's a job that a gardener usually does, but for some reason the gardener is busy or sick or whatever. And so Heather has to kind of take over that position for the moment to make sure there's always fresh flowers in the house.
So she'll kind of like peek around a hedge and look around, and she's just trying to make sure that Dad isn't around or anyone else that is kind of like that aligns with her father. And then she's gonna sneak up behind you, and she's gonna cover your eyes and say, "Guess who?"
I hope it's Persephone.
Surprise! It's me.
Oh, Persephone. Hi. I mean, nobody really does that for me anyway. Hi.
I'm so glad I found you. Like,
yeah.
How are you today?
She hugs you.
And she hugs you back.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm okay, I guess. And she like puts her finger in her mouth. I kind of pricked myself. I'm not used to doing cutting these roses. The gardener's sick today, but that's not an excuse to not have fresh flowers in the house. So
I think it's such a shame that we have to cut something so beautiful just because we have company or we want pretty things in our house. She's gonna. So I've already used a token on seeking intimate seclusion with someone, and I'm gonna grab Heather's hand or take Heather's hand and say, "Do you mind if I can have some bandages here if you want me to wrap up your finger?"
Thank you. Yeah, I would like that.
And I feel. Are you giggling? I'm trying. I feel like I've got stuff so that I can use. I just don't care. Okay, so I'll wrap up your finger, and I'm kind of looking at your hand and saying, you've got some calluses right there. You've been working hard.
Yeah. Yeah, your father's not an easy man to please.
I know. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna
But I'm glad that I'm here because I get to spend time with you sometimes, when nobody's working.
I'm gonna look up at you and I'm gonna say, what do you secretly desire right now?
I desire to be closer to you.
And Persephone's gonna do something that she has been thinking about for a really, really long time, but never done, and has flirted with for a really long time, and her face is really red, and she is gonna ask if she can kiss you.
And Heather will kind of look down for a moment. And she takes this noticeable breath, and then she nods.
And then Persephone gives you the most chaste kiss ever. Because she's super shy. And she's gonna be like, I've been wanting to do that for a while.
And she puts a hand up to your cheek and just caresses it lightly, and I've been wanting you to do that.
We should do this more often. First love.
I've never felt this way before.
Yeah, we have to make sure that no one knows. I don't know about your family, but obviously my family, it would be terrible.
Yeah, I think I don't. I guess I just worry a little about my job, but I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
Because I do really need this job. There's not a lot of positions like this out in London at this time. Everybody's kind of just lowering their standards and everything. It's a rough time now.
So Persephone's gonna try to gather you in a hug to comfort you, and is gonna confess a perceived failing secret or past sin, and is gonna say, obviously I can't stay with my family forever, and I've started making plans. I'd love if you could come with me.
What?
We can't be who we want to be here.
You're gonna run away from the safety of your home, from the luxury of your bed?
I mean, what is the use of having all of this if we're both prisoners?
So while you guys are having this conversation, you've heard off in the distance some dogs barking, which is not uncommon on your family's property, as you guys do have hunting hounds. But as you've talked, they've gotten closer and closer, and they are not your family's hounds, and they spring upon you, just 3 of them.
Oh, okay. While we're embracing.
Yes.
Okay. And so neither of us recognize these dogs?
No, sounds? They're not the breed or anything that your family has.
Persephone is going to be a little stressed out, but give Kavi a quick kiss and say, we should talk about this more.
You mean
Not
Heather?
Kavi. I was just reading.
I was like, hold on.
Kavi shows up.
And they
Heather gives her like promise me you'll think about it. And then tries to step away before whomever owns these dogs catches them.
as I said, as you guys come during this conversation, someone from you don't know where like they've come from, but like possibly another hunting party that's wandered into your family's estate is come and sees you guys here. On the horse, very rather plain looking though. I'm sorry, my ladies. The dogs just would not listen through. May I go and apologize to the lord of the manor?
So Persephone, like as she's like letting Heather's hand go, like she feels like a rush of warmth go up her arm, and she just doesn't think much of it because she's a little distracted. But like it kind of like rushes through her the second like her hand leaves Heather's, and Persephone's just gonna say, I'll do cut someone down with sharp words or secrets and say, there is no need for you to apologize to anyone other than myself. This is my estate. You can take your dogs and leave. Do not let it happen again. She really doesn't want this person talking with her family.
Yes, my lady, I'll make sure to never come back again. But I will make sure to send some form of apology to your house. And rounds his dogs. They leave. You go about the rest of your day. Oh, also just want to say, I know like y'all are very nice and kind as players and making sure I feel included, but if it goes somewhere you don't want it, just let me know, okay?
Yeah, we'll tell you.
Fantastic, thank you. So you go about the rest of your day thinking you haven't been noticed or anything.
Okay.
After dinner, though, Persephone, your father wants to speak to you in his quarters. Like, excuse me, not quarters, study.
Okay.
Trying to go like back
I didn't even think of
Victorian time with the language.
It can be hard. That's how horse cop happened. So I'm like feeling nervous because I think that I made plans to try to speak with Heather like after dinner, but I'm like, okay, don't want my dad to know anything's wrong. So I knock on the library door, study door.
Come in.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me, Persephone. I know we have not always seen eye to eye on certain things, but you've always been such a good daughter.
I'm gonna like inwardly roll my eyes as a teenager would do, and just kind of like look at all the books and stuff while he's talking.
And I know you're at that age where the world is becoming bigger and you're stepping into your own, but I want you to make sure that you still realize where your place is. Do you happen to know anything about a hunter who came through the property earlier today?
I'm going to play my stifling part to move well, I'm not really moving freely in society, but I'm going to play my stifling part right now and say, yes, Father, there was just some man, he let his dogs get loose, and I just told him not to do it again and to leave. It didn't seem like a big deal.
Not a big deal to have someone else on our property.
No, it was just like he had dogs. Dogs are weird sometimes. Like,
And why did you not send him to me?
I didn't see the point, but if this is a problem, I can make sure to do it next time.
That would be much appreciated, but that is not the problem I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
Again, I know you're...
Neil's just like, what's happening?
Again, I know you're at that age where you're starting to come into your own, but with our family, there are plans for you. And this dalliance that you are having, that is not acceptable. There are grand expectations of our family, of you, of your sister, and you are expected to fulfill those, to have a family, to maintain your high status, not to go gallivanting off in the garden with housemaids or other people on the grounds to see.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And here I thought you were the more intelligent of the two daughters.
I'm gonna use an inhibited move and ask, what do you really think of me?
I think you are full of life but misguided. You let your heart rule your decisions.
I'm gonna use another inhibited move and say, well, I think you are obsessed with power and control and making us do whatever it is you want. And I don't want that for myself. I don't care what your plans are for me.
Then what is it that you do want for yourself?
I want to be happy, and I don't want to fit whatever little box you want to put me in. And it's at this point that her, like, I don't know which move this would be, if any, but like she's starting to get really mad and her eyes darken and the shadows seem to deepen, and there's a tension in the room as she like clenches her fists, and she's gonna say, I can't wait until you're dead and in the ground, and I don't have to deal with your bullshit anymore. Whatever Victorian term for bullshit is.
Bullshittery?
I can't deal with your bullshittery. And I hate you. And she is going to say, I will do what I want, full on teenager mode. And she kind of like, I don't know, how does he react to some of this? Does he pick up on some of it?
Okay, just making sure I wasn't interrupting you.
She's having a tantrum.
Okay. So you will respect this family. That way, that is the only way you will have respect in this world. If you continue this dalliance with this housemaid, society will not respect you, and then they will no longer respect our family. You will stay here, you will continue your studies, you will take whatever marital match we think would be best for you. And then you will continue on with our family lineage and our family industries.
So you
And we
base.
will,
Oh, sorry.
there are many, many ways with that for you to be happy.
For you to be happy, like we're not just some pawns for you to just put around on a game board. And so I'm going to refuse to accept someone's judgment or cruelty and say, you can't make me do what you need, follow through on your plans. And I'm gonna claim your desires or gift as part of you. And so in this case, kind of both of them. And I'm gonna say, you should be so lucky for me to be with someone like Heather. And I'm gonna stomp out of the room. But as I'm doing,
I was gonna say, while you're stomping out of the room, Ambrose says, be aware that your actions affect others too, including your dalliance.
I'm gonna spin around and say, you should listen to your own words. And I, like, with the gift, like the shadows get really dark and start creeping out, and like I'd say like some of the bookshelves are shaking, and then I slam the door and I hear a bunch of things crash inside of the library, but I don't care. I'm running up to my room to go get my stuff and get the F out of here. So she'll gather, I don't know, she's going to do a really terrible job of gathering some things, and she's going to try to run out and find Heather to go. What happens?
Can't find Heather.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't find Heather at all. She's not in her room in the servants' quarters. It's well past the time that she should have been done for the day. And none of the other staff will, like, either they genuinely don't seem to know where she is, and some of them maybe they do, but they're not willing to talk to you.
So it sounds like you used a couple moves.
Yeah.
There's power, freedom, or importance for a price, which is his offer in the study. Like, you can have whatever you want as long as you follow my stuff.
Yep.
And then reveal a tableau of bloody carnage or ruined lives. So sounds like there's some ruined lives. I just don't see the evidence. Maybe.
And I don't know if that character has been killed or subverted.
Yeah.
Why don't you play to find out?
So I guess, yeah, Persephone runs to the servants' quarters and finds it empty, and she looks everywhere for either Heather or her family, and no one will talk to her, and she's gonna break down, and I think that'll be when she notices that it seems like shadows are following her. Like, the more stressed out she gets, the more upset she crumbles to the ground and like realizes that there's these tendrils reaching out to her, and she's gonna ask, I guess this is like asking the setting, what darkness is being drawn to me. And she, like,
Can you repeat the question? What darkness
is being drawn to me? This is the first she's realizing that something's happening to her.
Gotcha. So that darkness would be trying to figure out how much would this be something that the darkness tells you, or do you more get a feeling?
It could be any of the above. It could be Ambrose. Maybe he stalks up behind her and says, I don't know, like what?
Okay, gotcha. So however, just wanted to see
Yeah.
where you were with your character backstory for that.
She feels basically all of a sudden anything that she enjoyed in her life has just been ripped out from underneath her.
Gotcha. So even though this experience is new, the darkness seems very familiar, like it's been around a very long time, long before you. And you get this this vision of a not necessarily hell, not necessarily heaven, but this is clearly the afterlife. This is where we go after we pass. And you see a vision of a younger version of your father speaking with this tall, imposing, shadowy figure. And Ambrose says, yes, I will do anything to leave here with Guinevere, as long as we can leave and have a very, very long life together and live in happiness. And then the very tall, shadowy figure says, a deal then, 1,000 lives for every life you get.
What? I just got like chills.
It's a deal with the devil.
So you said it was the afterlife?
1,000 lives for wow.
For everyone?
Holy shit. It's a lot of people.
What the fuck? Sorry. So okay. So
that's the vision you get when you kind of have that internal question.
So I'm like, holy crap. I think that then she has this vision, and she almost feels like she's now at this point, she's almost like the darkness in me must be the same thing as the darkness in my father. Like, and she's almost gonna kind of like, she's gonna mourn everything, but she's also gonna look up and she sees her father like looking right at her. And
yep,
I think
didn't even hear him enter the room.
And I think that is where the scene, I think the flashback ends there.
Wow.
And with a thought of, I'm gonna kill you for this. That's what Persephone thinks. Whew.
Yeah, wow.
So,
wow.
Originally my idea was that then like it goes to present day with her in her cell or whatever.
Yeah, wherever Ambrose has taken her.
So,
but we could put that later.
Well, so we've done this a few times. So what if Persephone like wakes and is in, maybe she recognizes it as like the dungeons in like the basement of their estate or something?
Oh, I was thinking that he'd have her just in her old bedroom.
Oh, or that too. Wherever you think Persephone wakes up is where she wakes. So, but we can end like you wake up Persephone as Persephone's waking up and thinking whatever she's thinking from the flashback. The scene's will bounce.
Okay.
So
and then we can. Oh, sorry.
Well, it would end with Persephone waking in present day, and then flashing, like then moving scenes to Kavi or Baako or wherever we want to go.
So with that, okay. So she from the flashback with her looking up and seething at her father, I'm going to say this wasn't like a dream or anything like this. She opens up her eyes, stares at her father, and then it switches to her staring at her father in present day in her childhood bedroom. And she's older. She is back in her clothing from before she left the family estate. Like someone, a servant or her mother or sister, changed her back into her normal clothes instead of what she was wearing. I think she was wearing a trench coat or something.
I think Persephone is pretty naked.
Oh, that's right.
A whole
That's
joke
right.
that.
She was totally naked.
And she's like,
Yeah.
she's
Mhm.
clenching her fists, and she like looks up at her father and says, "You're gonna pay for everything you've done." End scene.
And we'll flash to who's next.
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I had a scene for Gunther, but I mean, we don't have to go there. We could go to Ezra. So I don't know, whichever.
So we can certainly show where Ezra is. I'm up for that. I mean, Ezra's detained somewhere. I don't know where. Is it really Scotland Yard? I have no idea.
No.
Oh,
So
and Mesh.
Oh,
hold-
Ambrose with.
Jesse has some ideas. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it. You tell me
So-
what you. Yeah.
okay, so we'll be using Spectre of Modernity for this one.
Ooh.
Oh God. Why is Ezra always being experimented on?
It just works. But Ezra has been taken back to the Mara textile factory
Oh God. Okay.
in the basement where the other beast had been.
All right.
So I would say, who would be down here? When we were last here, Arthur had been here, but Arthur had kind of helped you escape. So I don't think they would be here. But let's say Detective. Do we want to say that the Scotland Yard knows more about this? I'm not sure.
That could be
So-
interesting.
Well,
I mean,
it was
how
the
often-
detective that took him.
Yeah.
Took her, sorry. Them words. I am still struggling from the last thing.
That was
why
an
don't you
intense
just
scene.
process what happened to Persephone?
You did great. You did great.
Jen did great.
Yes.
So
You both did great.
I'm a mute. But yeah, it was the inspector that took Ezra. So
Yes.
So, I mean, I kind of like the idea that, power and money can buy any police. I mean that is facts. So
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. So Detective James Monroe is there, and we had left one creature there before,
I think that's right.
but I am unsure if that creature is lying down on the ground, unsure. You are unsure if that creature is still living right now.
Right. All right. I'm assuming am I like in a cell or am I like chained up?
Both in
Oh,
a
cool.
cell and chained up.
Fantastic. Great.
You were able to take on two of the creatures earlier when they
That's right.
came to get you, so
that's right.
they want to be doubly sure.
Okay. Okay. So Ezra is going to take. Ezra's going to take an inhibited move and is going to look at James Monroe and is going to say, "Why? What are you doing? Why am I here? I haven't what do you want with me?"
Well, just doing my job. I was told that you were a person of interest who we needed to capture, and now you have been captured.
A person of interest in what way?
That is not necessarily my business. All I know is there are some things that we are doing that I do not need to know. I am just the hired muscle. I do my job, and I am here to make sure things are done in an orderly fashion.
What does that mean? And then I'm gonna like strain on the chains and kind of be like, is it really necessary? I'm like locked behind a cell. Like, is this really necessary?
From what I have been told, you are slightly stronger than the others that we are used to keeping here. So,
What others?
as I am aware, you know, there is some beastly nature within some humans. Some research is being done on that. It is not my place to know. And so yes, it is not my place to know. I am just here to do my job. And
all right. I am going to what do you want? What do you want? What do you want from me?
I have no need for you. I am just here to keep everyone safe. And I think at that moment, the detective would go stand by the door. And I want to introduce a scientist.
No.
And yeah, so I would say a scientist would come in a lab coat.
Someone to play that, or do you already have this figured out?
I do not have any of this figured out, but I feel like I don't remember enough about everything we've talked about with the creatures. I'm looking at my notes to try to see what I remember of all of the things we have come up with for this.
I remember a lot of that stuff fairly well. If you want,
if you would like to play the scientist, because
do you have any idea of like how the scientist looks or their anything?
I'll let you decide since it will be your character as I'm.
Oh.
So the scientist comes in. I'm going to channel some mad scientist vibes. Long hair pulled up into like really messy bun, like hair coming out. Looks feminine, but is wearing men's clothing, and big glasses, because like why not? Like those like Professor Trelawney glasses.
Who are you? Oh no.
Well, we do seem to have ourselves. We have a new specimen. Is that what we have here? And they get really close to the bars and look through at you.
The like venom creature inside is gonna just like snarl.
Oh, you're fun. We're gonna have a good time.
Oh my god. No, so, you're not touching me.
I don't think that you have any choice in the matter. And this is for science, so you'll be doing a great service to society. And progress is great. And they're gonna go to like their workbench and dig around, and they find like a bundle of leather rolled up, and she unrolls it, and there's the usual torture implements, but from the Victorian London. Yes. So Inspector, what are the circumstances behind this creature?
I'm not a creature.
You just be happy that you can talk right now. but if you get out of line, we can take away that privilege. So you wait.
From what I have been told, there is something a little different about this one in just how they are affected by everything. It's not the same. We can't exert as much control over this one compared to the others.
The others were quite the disappointment. I mean, just look at them. Like, this was terrible. I am really hoping that we can really tame your powers for the greater good.
I mean,
Yes.
so Ezra is going to take an inhibited move and insult someone with blunt or rash speak, and is going to say, if it took Kavi 3 experiments to try to get it right, it's going to take you much longer. Good luck. And then and then Ezra can hear Venom say, you just need to bide your time, and then we'll kill them and find Persephone.
So the scientist, also known as Alistair Hardy, goes, "Oh, are you talking about that scientist Kavi and their measuring or whatever of the soul? We are beyond like such ridiculous things. I have no desire to measure your soul." And pulls out a long scalpel and asks the inspector to open the door. We've got some work to do to get you under control.
Excellent. As you say that, Ezra's going to take an inhibited move and is going to, Ezra's going to take a strong move first and is going to transform physically or socially. And is going to let Venom take over. And then Ezra is going to we're going to spend a token, or we're going to gain a token taking an inhibited move, and we are going to win a brawl and limp away beaten and bloody. So, as you step in, you see this, like, it's like a very subtle change now. Ezra still looks like Ezra, but has kind of gotten larger, and like their eyes have become more gold. And they reach out quickly, and the chains are completely shatter. And they reach for the scalpel, and you're going to slash at the scientist.
So you said that you have to leave beaten and bloodied.
Yeah,
so I have an idea.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can decide what happens to Alistair, but as you're doing this,
I mean, Ezra absolutely kills Alistair.
Oh yeah, okay.
Completely is like, yes.
So as this is happening, Alistair is going to yell to James Monroe, like, grab them, and let me, like, I need to do this real quick, and then, like, we can salvage this, and is going to try to, like, stab the back of Ezra's neck to, I don't know, do whatever it is that might control Ezra. And so I would say that somehow Alistair is able to cut you, but probably not in the not where needed before dying. I don't know if you want to describe that.
Sure, that's fine. Well, so I was thinking, yeah, so like we'll say Alistair manages to cut Ezra once before Ezra gets the scalpel and cuts their neck. However, I still need to be bloody and beaten. So I'm going to assume that then James, is it Monroe?
Yes.
Inspector Monroe and Ezra are probably going to get into a fight.
So Alistair's going to be like, but the science.
I like how Hallie makes that as hilarious as possible to break the tension.
It's a bad habit.
We need to clip that. We need to clip that.
So then Ezra's going to promptly attack the Monroe, and I assume we fight.
Yeah. I would say yes, Monroe can shapeshift as well. And I think he would offer, I want him to offer you, you don't have to do this. Like, this is for the better good. This is for the benefit of all humanity to be part of these experiments.
No, it's for Persephone's father.
Yes, for the betterment of humanity.
No. No. All he wants is his own power.
You cannot see the greater good, and then he will fight you, but ultimately you will be able to limp away.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say that I'm pretty messed up. And Ezra is going to run away, and is going and you kind of see Ezra like running out of this factory and running down the alleys of London, and next thing you know, Kavi is hearing like a bang on their door.
And I guess the
Yes,
the
Kavi,
butler
open up,
answers-
open up. Like this
Reginald.
Yeah, I imagine that the butler's like heading to the door, but Kavi actually runs to the door and like peers out like, Ezra, I haven't seen you. How long have you been missing?
I don't know. Like, how long has it been?
I think
haven't
it's maybe
decided
been like
that.
a day or
Has it only
two.
been a
Maybe
day?
maybe it's been.
Wow.
I mean, it could have been a couple days, depending on how. Like,
Feels-
Jesse,
I-
you're the one that created the powder.
Forgot about it. Yeah, okay, let's say it's been a couple of days.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
that. I like that.
Between
Kavi,
like
open
3 and
up.
And they open up the door and like usher you in and close the door
Ezra's
behind
like
you.
bleeding from like multiple places, and his like one eye is like swollen shut, and
Oh my goodness.
Ezra's like probably the worst you've ever seen them.
Wow.
Where's Baako? Is Baako here?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
I'm going to I am going to spend a token and ask for help. I'm going to use it's admit you're out of your depth and ask for help. And I'm going to say, we left, Persephone and I, we left and went to, and then next thing I know, like Scotland Yard was there, and we were taken, and she was naked, I think. I don't know. Anyways, I escaped from where Baako and I were. Like, we went.
Why was she naked?
That's not important. Did Baako bring you?
Okay.
Did Baako bring you that monster?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
I have the creature.
I just came back from that. They held me captive, and I had to fight my way out. And now I'm like, and they're like, and then they faint.
Oh man. I forget my butler's name.
Reginald.
I forgot his name too. Yes, madam.
Please help me get Ezra into a room and let's take care of her.
Do I have to wear my white gloves for this?
You can take off your white gloves and put on your black gloves.
I will go without. I don't want to do the laundry.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense.
Reginald's gonna let you do most of the heavy lifting and is gonna get like the ankles.
Yeah, get the ankles. just like gently drag Ezra.
Sir, you really
into-
must
into-
get some.
into a room.
You really must get some new friends.
Uh,
I should let you know that I have my resume in other places.
you do well.
Just letting you know. If these working conditions do not improve.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to tell you,
Okay.
but like I'm the best place for you to work.
Okay.
But
Okay.
good luck finding something better, Reginald. But I'd prefer to keep you. You know.
He secretly loves you. And would never leave. Okay.
All right. So yeah. So I will send messages to Baako and Persephone. They're coded, but they're coded in a way that you guys, I believe Kavi has spoken to you guys about it. So like if somebody intercepted it, they'd be like, what the heck does this mean? But you guys would know what it means, you know, like the pigeons come to roost.
Well, Persephone's not going to receive their letter.
That is true.
Yeah, so I imagine that one would have gone to the Queen's head.
Yeah.
And so if anything, that might mean someone else has a heads up, but of something. I don't know.
But I don't know if they wouldn't know what that would mean though.
I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah, and so Kavi is gonna take some time, like, you know, helping to clean Ezra up and, you know, bandage her up and all that stuff. And yeah, so I assume at some point will Baako come?
Yes, as soon as Baako gets the coded message as they head over.
Yeah, come in, Baako. So I have a lot of information to impart on you. Ezra was captured and she found a way out. She fought her way out, apparently. And she's very beaten, and she's not in a good place at all. Things are getting really bad, and she might be okay here for the moment, but I don't know that this is a good place because the Scotland Yard was here like just a few days ago. And hopefully they don't come here looking for her.
We cannot trust any type of authority at all.
Any?
None.
Really?
Everyone related to this society and our current structures, they all work together. We cannot trust them. We cannot trust the Scotland Yard.
Well, they do seem to be very ignorant, and I have heard of corruption.
And I am going to spend a token because last time I did a bunch, so I have like 5 tokens right now. But I'm gonna spend a token to open up about what I've lost and how I've suffered. And I want to say, like, the Scotland Yard especially did nothing to help after the deaths of my family. They did nothing. They helped in no way. They are just trying to line their pockets and trying to make things harder for those that are already suffering. And they are part of why I have nothing left other than the house. Like all of my family's assets, all of their money, everything was taken. It was all seized. And there is nothing more that I can do on that end other than to know to never trust them.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. I've noticed about our society for sure. I am going to spend a token and validate someone's experiences through references to queer theory or histories. You know, it seems like the social construct is a total mess and others don't support different gender identities or loves that happen outside of the norm. And all of it is it's a corrupt place. And I don't know what we can do here. Baako, we have to make a decision. Are we going to stay and fight? Or are we going to leave? Because I have a place away from this where we can all be ourselves. And London is going to burn to the ground. I'm not even sure if we fight, if we will all survive. And they look intensely in your eyes. And I'm spinning a token to lay bare my driving passions and beliefs. Whichever we do, I want to be with you. If we're going to fight, hopefully we don't lose our life, because I do enjoy living. But I will fight.
So you gain a token, because that's my lure, when someone helps to pursue justice or offers healing or solace. And then I'm going to spend a token to let go of some hate and find closure around the situation of being able to have an after this, being able to have a place that can be safe. And I'm going to ask, how can I show that I love you as you are?
You can show me that you love me by just connecting with me, talking to me, spending time with me. We can hold hands and hug, but I don't really want to do anything more than that. I'm just not that type of person. I'm asexual. And I hope that's okay.
That is perfectly okay. And I think we should try and find Persephone, but I feel I'm ready to let go and move away from all of this pain and suffering that is London.
Yes, I agree. I think that's the best choice ever. But we do need to find Persephone, and we need to find a way to get her back wherever she is. Yeah. Let's go speak to Ezra. Maybe Ezra has an idea of where she might be. But before that, Reginald.
Reginald comes to whichever room you're. I don't know. Are you still like in the
we're like
foyer?
We're in the foyer.
Comes in and like looks the worst that you've ever seen them. Like the jacket's off, like the shirt's got the sleeves rolled up, and there's blood all over it. Just looks miserable and says, "Yes."
Reginald, are you okay?
I'm fine. Your guest is awake, and your other guest is screaming for food.
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, we will do something about that. I wanted to let you know I'm going to be leaving London.
What do you require of me?
I mean, once you clean up and do what you need to do, like it's not like a huge rush. But I wanted to make sure you were on board and knowing, because I want you to, pack my clothes up, make sure that you have food. We'll need chicken nuggies for the trip. And yeah, we're going to need a rather large carriage so that we can, prepare everything. I don't know that we'll leave tonight. We might leave tomorrow. But I wanted to make sure you know. And of course, I want you to come along, Reginald. And I'm going to sell this house. I'm kind of done with London.
Oh, okay. What should we do about the other guest?
Oh, I'm going to take care of them.
Like,
oh no, not like that. No.
Because if you need me to do that, you need to ask me now. I am not cleaning my shirt again.
No, Reginald. I managed to find and create an antidote for the creature and hopefully they'll come out and we'll be able to communicate with them. Right now, they're not much of a communicator, but I think once I give them the antidote, they'll be able to communicate, and then we can find out where they want to go and if they want to join us or not. I mean,
oh, okay.
I'll be eventually bringing
so they
all
get
of
a
the
choice,
staff.
but I don't. Okay. Good to know.
Do you not want to join me?
Oh no, this is exactly what I wanted with my life. I will get on that right away. Anything else? Hello, Baako.
Just some tea.
Wonderful having you as always.
Yeah, we'll just have some tea in the study.
Yes, right away.
Okay, thank you, Reginald. And then Kavi will head over to where Ezra is, gonna knock on the door.
We'll say yes. Reginald helped Ezra with whatever.
Ezra?
Yes.
Are you okay? Are you feeling any better?
I mean, I have a headache. At least I stopped bleeding.
Okay, that's good. Being able to allow your body to do its natural healing process and clog up, do the blood clotting thing is yes. Very important. Yes.
Yes.
We need to find Persephone.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Do you know where she is? Do you know what happened? Where'd she go?
I assume she's her father took her, I think. He took her somewhere. I assume the estate. Do you know where the Mara estate is?
Yes. Yes, I do.
That might be the best place to look.
Yes, but if we go there and we knock on the door, I don't know that they will answer.
Sneak in.
You could knock on the door. We can sneak in from the back.
Okay. I trust that you guys will figure a way out, and I will come up with some kind of rational explanation as to why I'm there. Yes, this is a good plan. Also, Ezra, London is going to shit, and we're gonna leave.
Where are you going?
Well, I have land outside of London. It's a rather large estate, more than enough rooms for all of you. And there are horses and with some sheep and pigs, chickens, the usual fare. It's my family's land. I've kind of moved away from it because I was doing my science experiments, but I can certainly do other types of experiments, even in the rural places.
I'm good. I don't consent to any more experiments.
Okay, yes, I would not do any more experiments without your consent, of course. And I feel like I've actually gathered up more than enough
Great.
data on you.
Perfect. Thank
So,
God.
yeah, and actually, at this point, I might just be compiling all the data and writing up multiple journals for publication.
Okay, great. But where,
Yes.
like, is it like, where is it? How far from London is it?
It's about 2 hours drive.
Is it secluded?
It's relatively secluded, yes.
Okay, because if we go up against the Maras, we're going to need a place to hide at.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
We could hide there for now and maybe try to make our way to where was it? South America, where my uncle was doing all of the research, and just leave this continent.
As long as we rescue Persephone, we'll.
Or we could go to this place I heard of, the Americas.
You hear Reginald muttering as they bring in the tea, like, I will not be caught dead over there. No, that is one straw too far. But then acts totally normal while bringing in the tea.
Thank you, Reginald. We appreciate you.
I appreciate modern living. So nice to see you looking better, Ezra.
Well, thanks. You were quite helpful.
And leaves.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Well, what is it that we need to do to prepare? Is there anything that we need to do to prepare?
Have all of our things out of the city before we go.
We have weapons. Weapons will be good.
Yes.
Yes, I do. I mean, I have swords, daggers, some. I have a pair of dueling pistols.
Oh.
Of course, it's only good for one shot.
Right.
But I mean, if you have two, then you have two shots.
I mean, I'm a hunter, so
I mean,
I know I have
got weapons. You knocked me out with a pair of brass knuckles, so maybe we could find some swords or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that'll be very noticeable.
We need weapons regardless. We can't.
Daggers?
I mean, yeah. Do we have some? I think I might have some guns back at my place.
I think I also have some.
All right then. All right. Well, I'm going to kind of come up with some idea for myself of, I guess, of what would be my explanation for being over there, and take a nice healing bath, and dress into a new suit, and then we'll reconvene. How does that sound for everyone?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
All right.
You can just, like, Ezra just hears like venom like ticking off, like all like, first I'm gonna like rip their arms off, and like just is going through all the ways that they're going to like hurt the people that have taken Persephone. And Ezra's like, yes, I know, but first we need weapons. As they like walk out and sneak to their apartment.
Envisioning like a montage sequence of everyone getting ready, like you get in like in like heist films where everyone puts on like their coolest
Yes.
clothes. Yeah. And like some pretty epic music.
As long as it's epic Victorian music.
Yes. Lots of cellos. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Ezra has a couple revolvers, a couple daggers.
Reginald offers up a couple surprising weapons. Just in case one of your experiments got out of control, I had to make sure I could protect myself.
Right. And then Kavi will go into their lab where the creature is and offer them the antidote to drink.
I'm just gonna play all the NPCs.
Yeah, would you like to play like what happens after they drink? And...
unless Jen wants to.
Oh yeah, Jen, would you like?
He basically just talks like Gollum.
Right now, at least.
Right now, he does.
Okay. But yeah, this is the one that's pretty much been says lies, and
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
I don't think we had a name for them, did we?
No.
They probably
No.
don't know their name. So if you want it, we can end this scene with you curing them.
Action.
Wait. I'm the one being cured, though, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Tennille's character.
Yes.
Okay. I'll make sure I had that straight.
Yes.
Can you remind us what you were doing, Kavi?
So Kavi is giving a glass vial to the creature, and it's a bright greenish yellow, and Kavi says, this will help you. This will help you with what's inside. Please trust me. I've been working on this. Drink it.
No. You lie like everyone else.
I'm not lying now. Trust me. Just try it.
Slowly reaches out, takes it from you, drinks it. Kind of shaky, collapses a bit on the floor, but still breathing.
Are you all right?
Oh my gosh, that tastes horrible.
Yes, I'm sorry for the taste. It's what is your name?
Peter.
Peter. How are you feeling?
Honestly, really rough. But at least I can talk normally again.
Yes, at least you can talk normally. That's a good thing.
I feel a little bit more myself.
Yeah. I want you to be in a place where you can live your life however you want to live it, with whatever gender you want, with whatever love you want, and not be experimented on.
Yeah.
So if
Speaking
I
of
open
that,
this cage,
yeah.
you're not gonna harm me, right?
As long as you don't hurt me. And no more experiments.
No more experiments.
Okay.
Kavi's honor. And they unlock the cage and they let Peter out.
Slowly walks out of the cage. All right, so do I just go, or am I part of this group now?
Do you have a place to stay, or I mean, because you could always help us to get Persephone if you want to, but you don't have to. I mean, I could make a place for you. We're going to go to a undisclosed location 2 hours from now.
I'm gonna stay here with that guy.
Oh, with
Points over at
Reginald? With Reginald. Oh,
he seems the most trustworthy person of the bunch.
Get yourself some chicken tendies.
Yeah, get yourself some chicken tendies. Also, Reginald's kind of cute and he's single.
Okay, we gotta go.
Saying. Just saying.
Reginald can speak for themselves. Master Peter, would you like to put on some clothes?
Yes.
Okay, let's get you off.
Yes.
Let's worry about travel arrangements.
At this point, Ezra has come back and is like, "What are you guys still doing standing around? We have to go.
We're planning our happy ending.
No, we have to go get Persephone. Also,
yes.
He needs clothes, but we need to leave. Let's go.
Anyway, we're in the process.
Let's go.
Yes. Okay. All right. Let's
End
head out. End scene.
All right.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
We're gonna.
Kavi's like, here's all the details.
We're gonna take a 10-15 minute break, and then we'll come back for the last the I don't know, what is it called, the climax,
finale, something,
the resolution.
Ending?
I don't know.
Yeah.
the resolution ending.
Oof. I don't know if I'm ready.
The finale, the intensity. We'll come back after break and finish with the story, and then move into the debrief. So we'll see you in 15 minutes.
Welcome back to Gaze of Our Lives. We are about to play probably, I think, our final scene for Grand Guignol. And it is getting intense. So as we open back up on London, it's taken Ezra, Baako, and Kavi a little bit longer than expected to prepare for their mission. But as they are preparing, the Thames River has started overflowing even more and is overtaking the slums. And there have been like rumblings and earthquakes that are getting larger in intensity, and they all seem to be originating from like the walled off affluent sector of London. And people are scared, and they're talking about dreams that are eerily similar to everyone else's dreams. And they talk about a tall, thin, dark shadow of a devil making a deal with two mortals. And then the London streets cracking open and monsters pouring forth of different shapes and sizes. Some look like devils, some like beasts with glowing eyes. And there is a thick curtain of black fog or smoke that is rolling over all of London. And it first envelops the manors in the rich sector, and then you see it roll over a lab and cemetery, and the Queen's head is quickly engulfed. And you know it's going to encompass all of London.
All right, so Kavi, Ezra, and Baako are getting into the carriage and traveling towards the Mara house. And Kavi has bathed and dressed in a very nice suit. Like it's black, but it's got a bit of a glimmer that kind of shows a little bit as they kind of move a bit. And masculine boots. Do you have everything that you need? Are you both ready?
Yes.
All right. Well, there is a door on the other side that you guys can get out of, and there's also a secret latch at the bottom, and Kavi just like shows you how to use it just in case you need to use it. If you need to use it to sneak in or sneak out, whatever. It's one of my famous inventions. All right then. Looks like here we are. And so they will, the carriage stops in front of the home, and the footman gets off and opens the door, and Kavi steps out, makes sure the door is closed behind them, and then walks up to the door and gives it a knock. And whoever answers, are you going to answer?
I think Jen is. I don't know.
Okay.
Or do you want me to?
Gotcha. Wasn't sure if you wanted to be in charge of the most of the scene or what.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm here for extra help until Persephone comes in.
Gotcha. So you are waiting for a little bit longer than would be polite when the door is finally opened by one of the servants. Good day. What is your business at the Mara house?
Good day to you. I am Kavi, and I would like to speak with your master, Ambrose Mara. I have news pertaining to a lot of his dealings, and I'm sure he'll be very interested in hearing them.
Now, question, is it just Kavi at the door, or are...
It's just me.
Okay, gotcha.
Just me dressed in a suit.
All fancy-like, gotcha.
Yes, all fancy-like.
And your name again?
Kavi.
Right this way. They lead you through the parlor to a sitting room. I will go inform Lord Mara that he has a visitor.
Wonderful. Tea when you're able to. No rush.
They walk off. A few moments later, someone else comes in with different servant comes in with tea, little tea tray, sets it down, fixes you up a cup.
Kavi kind of prepares it, but doesn't actually drink it.
And so this taller gentleman with the facial hair, top hat, very, very nice suit with a black vest with red embroidery, walks in.
And as soon as he walks in, Kavi stands up, as is socially acceptable, and nods their head lightly. The Lord Ambrose, Lord Mara, it is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Yes, I'm sure it is. I was told that you were here for some things pertaining to my business.
Yes, I hear, it's my understanding that I have some valuable information that you would like to know. And I'm guessing that whoever you have on your team is not giving you the best of information that you actually require.
I'll leave it up to my judgment on how beneficial your information is. What exactly do you have for me? I am a busy man, you know.
Of course. And I'm going to spend a token and freely share my knowledge and expertise. And Kavi will start going into a long conversation about the soul and and the beast, and and very into like scientific stuff that Ambrose wouldn't understand, and etc. They're basically
all
stalling.
the minutia and
Yes.
terminology details, all that.
Yes,
Very deep.
they're basically like stalling so that Ezra and Baako can get in. But yeah, Kavi keeps going back to, how this will be something that'll help with you managing beastly natures that I've heard of, and kind of like keep bringing the little carrot in, but like talks about the scientific stuff, like just trying to like overwhelm him with all of their knowledge.
So, what do you makes you think that I'd be interested in the beastly natures and the anatomy of the soul?
I am going to use my intellect to make someone feel small. And then I'll go into how all of this information helps with, like, when you think about the marketing and the brand of your company and the textiles, and like they just like kind of go into like long explanation of like linking things and using terminology that sounds like really out there, and things like that, just like really trying to like kind of overwhelm him, and but like I understand, like your whole purpose is to, you want to exert your control and also make a ton of money, and and this is how you do it, blah 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 blah.
It's some very interesting information. I'm sure you understand it much better than I do. So what
Indeed.
sort of...
I'm an expert in my fields.
So
Lord
exactly
Mara.
what were your thoughts? Were you just, as nice a person as you are, realistically, we live in an industrialized and capitalist society. I assume you're not just here to offer this freely.
No, I want a contract with you.
Ooh. What did you have in mind?
Well, I don't know how much you pay your scientists, but I should be paid triple that amount.
And so, are you thinking I set up a lab for you, some funding? What are your designs in this contract?
Well, I already have my own lab, but I'll never turn
I'd of
down
course
a
want to make sure that you
bigger
had the
one.
absolute best available if you are going to perform such a valuable service for me.
That is true.
As you guys are talking,
I like the idea of a much bigger one.
As you guys are talking, like all of the china or glass objects in the room, and like the room starts to vibrate a little bit, and all of the china like starts clinking together a little bit, and whatever is causing it is nearby.
Well, how about this? We can go to my office and drop a more formal contract. And
Yes. Yes, I like that. I like that idea a great deal. Let's draw out a contract. Of course, you know these things do take time. So once the contract is drawn, I'll have my lawyer look at it, and and then we'll dibble back and forth as we need to ensure both of us are happy with the terms.
oh, what? Why should we, call up your lawyer right now? Have them come down today. We can have this taken care of by the afternoon.
Well, I don't. I mean, I'll send a message to them, but we'll see. We'll see about that.
And so y'all go off to the office.
Yes.
So with working for me, there are, of course, some non-disclosure agreements.
Of course.
I think I'd want at least a 5-year contract.
That's
if it
fair.
is such valuable information. Definitely some non-compete. If I should decide not to renew after 5 years, I don't want you to go sharing this with my competitors.
Of course, that makes sense. Yes. You are a man with very good business sense.
Well, I think that this could help me very quick, and I could probably help you too.
Yes, well, I've heard whisperings of the scientists that you have procured, and honestly, they're not the smartest crown in the box. Just saying.
Of course. How about with this other than, so you'll be getting the new laboratory staff. I will have you at one of my better guarded R&D facilities. And
Yes.
so should we just, move all your other things over there now, or?
Oh, I mean, not now. I am a little curious about what you've been working on.
Well, lots of revolutionizing industry. What with the textiles factory and all, but with steam, with quick out of character question, we have electricity, right, or not? I can't remember. I think it's just starting with the electricity, right?
Super sketchy, but yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Very what is electricity? Is it dangerous to your soul? Yeah.
Some people prefer gas lights over.
Yes. We've been working with this new form of electricity. I don't know if you've heard about it, but
Of
I am
course.
very intrigued at ways to make my factories as well as other investments much more efficient. And so, tell me so far have your studies brought you to know. So
Yes.
basically
Yeah.
make a nice little summary of all your
Right, yeah.
very
And Kavi
technical stuff.
will talk about, they have multiple contacts throughout the city and even outside of the city, and goes on and on and on about that. So I don't want us to spend too much time in this. Let's get to Ezra and Baako, if that's all right.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you guys do as soon as Kavi goes inside?
So like trying to just seem like another one of the help, or
Yeah, what does that look like?
Here we go. So I'm going to take a transgressive move and transform socially. And Ezra is going to appear to be just another what's the word for
Lackey.
maybe, yeah, there's like a specific word for people who deal with like carriages and stuff. I don't know what it's called.
Chauffeur, or chauffeur is like the modern term,
Um,
but
is it porter?
Yeah, we'll go with
there's
porter.
a word for it. I need
Something like that, along the lines of like a porter.
a coachman, I think.
And so they just kind of appear like somebody who would be doing those kinds of duties to anyone around them. And as I'm gonna look at Baako and say, okay, well now we just need to find the entrance.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna try and sneak in from the back entrance if there's, and just like seeing if we can maybe find someone who might have liked Persephone, or maybe if we can run into someone who's like still upset about Heather, that'll just let us in to go save Persephone.
That was
Or
like
at
a
least
few
help.
years ago.
Yeah, so I
But
don't know.
As you're
Maybe.
searching, you feel that same rumbling that Kavi and Ambrose had felt earlier, like those mysterious earthquakes.
I don't think that's a good thing.
Ezra knows it's Persephone.
Yeah.
I'm not playing the setting. I just like
You're good. Well, you're sort of part of the setting right now, so that makes sense.
Let's just follow that rumbling.
Yeah.
Well, while you guys are walking through the estate and the house, people seem to be very busy. Like, yeah, you get with the estate, they've got stuff normally going on, but they seem to be setting up for something. Carrying, like, what is table? There we go. Like tablecloths, different type candelabras. They're in the midst of getting ready for some sort of event. Something would be happening here soon. And so you're pretty much able to kind of like go through without being really noticed all that much. Get some people looking at you, but not too much because they've got other stuff to be doing. And so you are able to kind of impersonate normal staff of the house and make your way over to the main part of basically the upstairs living area where Ambrose and Kavi and Persephone would be now. And so I'm gonna switch, I guess, back a little bit over to Kavi and Ambrose, but as Ezra and Baako are in the area and hear this conversation going on in said office. So yes, it's a deal then, Kavi. You'll come work for me. You'll help me with these these investments and hopeful improvements into my industry as well as hopefully my workforce.
Well, I haven't signed anything yet, but we shall see.
All right. I am going to go and check on some preparations.
Oh yeah, it seemed like I heard the sound of people moving in the back or something. Is there like some kind of event going on or something? I didn't mean to disturb you. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, we'll be having a sort of a celebration later.
Oh, a celebration. Of what? I'm just curious.
My daughter's returned home.
Oh, she has. Oh,
yeah, she's been away
wonderful.
for a while, but now she is back, and we are so excited to have her with us again.
As he says that, there is a much louder, like, or a much larger earthquake, and like the stuff that had rattled before, like a good half of it, like rattles and falls and smashes on the floor. And you think you hear someone yelling.
I was gonna say, and so we'll switch over. I also wanted to switch over at that point, unless anyone had something they wanted to do, but switch over to Persephone.
So where is Persephone now?
Currently, Persephone is not in her room, but like where she would like take her lessons in the house growing up.
Maybe there's like a nursery. I mean, aged up a little bit, like, so instead of having like little kid stuff, it's got like desks and needlepoint or something. So I'm assuming that like Persephone can't move freely in the house.
No, the staff are not going to be letting you leave. They have all been keeping a very watchful eye over their beloved Persephone that has returned home. They've
Is anyone else in the room with
Yes,
her?
I was gonna say there's some servants in there. They've dressed you in this lovely white gown, and they've been doing the whole do your hair, do your makeup, that stuff so far today.
So
oh no.
Persephone is like in the process of ripping off the dress and like looks crazed.
So Persephone's naked again.
No, she's not naked yet. Like,
but a couple days
layers.
After that.
There are layers. She's not, but she is like.
She still has like a slip and a corset.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, like the dress is still
after,
on, but she has had enough.
Removing
like,
dress.
We'll say that she's in the dress and then she's just like ripping at the sleeves. And we're gonna use an inhibited move, resent someone's normalcy or peace of mind. Like, you're all acting like everything is normal. You haven't seen me in like 4 fucking years, and now you're getting me ready for like my baptism or like a fucking wedding. And like her eyes are like almost completely black, like her pupils have completely expanded, and it is daytime. It seems like it's daytime, and there are way more shadows in here than there should be. And she is going to, I guess we'll spend a token, seize all attention in a room by word or deed, and says, you think that you can do all of his bidding, like, and it won't have any consequences? And she is going to invite a spirit to possess her. And she's gonna open up her soul for whatever being it was that unlocked her true potential when she was escaping her family when she was younger. This is not the same being that her father gave allegiance to, because of course she wouldn't do that. And the way she seizes all attention in the room is she screams at them, kind of like one of those banshee screams, and that's when like one of the earthquakes occurred. And
Yeah, when you do your banshee scream, you've got several of them like kind of step back in shock. Another one kind of like cowers and says, "Well, if we don't follow Lord Ambrose's instructions, it'll have repercussions for us and our lives."
she's going to say in a voice that isn't her own, "You should be far more scared of me right now. If you want your lives, leave now." It's like dark. And she is going to go for the door, and instead of opening it, it's just going to explode. And that's the second earthquake, and she's gonna go find her father.
Yeah, so they either are still cowering or they scatter out of the room.
Because she doesn't want to hurt people. Right now she might have a little bit of control. And she probably grabbed whatever was closest and sharpest. So it was probably like some sewing shears.
That's fair. They're getting you into said gown.
And she goes out. We'll say that like the door explodes, and you see a balcony and probably whatever this dude was setting up. And she's gonna yell, "Father! I need to have some words with you."
So yeah, this is great. This is kind of like about the time the scene ended with everybody else.
Yeah, and Kavi is like, "It looks like your daughter's calling for you."
Ezra's like whispering to Baako, I'm pretty sure that's Persephone.
Yeah, I guess we follow.
Yeah.
So
Should I wait here, my lord?
yes. You may wait here. I will hopefully not be too long. It's a very big day for my daughter. Let me go make sure everything is, going accordingly. And just makes a very firm stride off to Persephone's quarters. And so I'm assuming Persephone would kind of like know about where in the house her father would be during the daytime.
She kind of somehow gets down the stairs without taking a single step, which means that I be just where you're needed through uncanny or coincidental means. So when Ambrose, I used another. Okay, we've used two. Okay, we still got a good amount of tokens. She appears on the other side of the door that Ambrose was just about to leave. And before Ambrose opens the door, she briefly spies Ezra and Baako, but you can tell that she does not recognize you.
Gotcha. So she's materialized on the outside of the office door.
I mean, technically we did find her.
She doesn't look okay.
No.
And then Ambrose opens the door.
I guess we're not leaving. And then Venom, you can like hear like Venom says like, "Oh, this is gonna be good."
Well, I can see why you would have screamed. What have the servants done to your gown? This is not correct at all. This is not what we asked for.
Okay, so inhibited move. Is that what I want? She's gonna get really close, and like now she's like taller than him, but she didn't grow. She just started floating. It's like the shadows picked her up.
Gotcha.
And she's like looming over him, and her eyes are completely black. And she says, "Hello, Father. What is your greatest fear right now?"
Ooh. Hmm.
He should be fucking scared. But
No,
who
but
knows?
he's very taken aback by your whole everything right now. But that's Jen. Like, oh gosh, well, what is Ambrose's greatest fear right now? I guess his greatest fear. Oh, question. Do you want him like to answer? I guess yeah. We'll do it in dialogue.
I feel like maybe whatever's possessing her right now is making him answer regardless of whether he wants to. So it's
Compel it.
gonna be way more
Gotcha.
honest than he would want to be ever.
Gotcha. I'm afraid that I will lose everything that I have, and everything will fall apart if you do not play your part, Persephone.
I will spend a token to look into your heart and see you truly. Or no, not that one, because you basically just said that. Sorry. Basically, okay, she's just gonna respond and say, well, be prepared to be disappointed. And seizes all attention in the room by word or deed by using her powers to restrain Ambrose with the shadows.
So yeah,
and I don't know if anyone. She hasn't really recognized the rest of you, so I don't know how you guys feel about this.
Oh yeah, well, while you are figuring out your reactions, shadows kind of.
They'll pick him up and bring him further back into his study where Kavi is, or whatever, and she goes in, and the door is like wide open, but she's back on the ground and she's pacing with the scissors. I don't know, whatever. I'll let everyone else say what they're doing right now.
Ezra's going to enter. Persephone, are you okay?
I've never been better.
Okay, I can see that.
She's never been better.
Sorry.
Yeah, she says she has never been better.
Oh, who's she?
Oh, Persephone.
Are you using third person?
So whoever is possessing her said,
okay, got it.
She has never been better, and says, meet Persephone's father. And she he is
hand wave.
uses like the tip of the scissors and like holds them against his neck.
Persephone, I know that again we've never saw things quite eye to eye, but this is what protects our family. You can either play your part and help our family continue to thrive, or we'll wither and decay like the rest of the world.
Oh, wow.
She's gonna say, I think I will do far more to help our family by making sure that the disease infecting it is cut out. And that means you. And if anyone's gonna stop her, this is what needs to happen.
So Ezra was going to continue walking towards Persephone, and is going to reach out and touch Persephone's shoulder, and is going to ask, how can I show that I love you as you are?
So Persephone, like, she's just about to literally like slice his throat, and you see like her eyes almost return to normal, and she looks at you and says, "Help. Help me."
So,
What is Ambrose doing?
what does that
so
mean? I don't. What kind? Help you?
Help
how?
her. She's not in control, and this isn't
as
her.
she's
Okay.
as this,
She's possessed.
Great.
Persephone is going to slit his throat. He's like, unless someone makes a sacrifice, like I have, your mother will die. I will die. And our family will end.
Sacrificing? Who are we sacrificing?
And so he's I'll use the setting move, reveal what taboo or sacrifice the old ways demands, which also ties into the other one, introduce a ritual that offers protection or insight. For hundreds, no, maybe 1,000, almost 1,000 years now, our family has sacrificed to the afterlife.
But it sacrificed what?
Others.
Who?
The lives of others. You think that life just has abundance? If we're going to have more life, it has to come from somewhere.
Ezra is going to overwhelm an obstacle through brute force, and is going to knock Ambrose out, and is going to then turn to Persephone.
I like it. Just like no monologue.
We're done. And then it's going to turn to Persephone and say, "See, he's dealt with for now. Like let's and then is going to ask Persephone, like, do you remember what you said to me that night? Recalling a few nights ago."
So
I don't remember what it was.
the goofy me wants to say, like, really derail this. No, but her eyes kind of go back to like that full on black and says, "Persephone's not here right now. She needed my help, and I'm helping her. You couldn't." And whoever this is turns back around to Ambrose and is like getting ready to do him in. I'm wondering what Baako and Kavi are doing.
Yeah, Kavi has like
because I believe Ambrose is knocked out.
Yeah, has slowly like slinked into the room and is hearing all of that situation and is now like standing beside Baako.
Baako.
I mean,
I'm like looking at my moves and I'm like,
because
he's going to keep coming for her until there's an end to this. I don't think it's ever going to stop as long as he's alive.
Well, but I mean, she's possessed.
I mean,
this isn't her.
Yeah, but like, okay. I'm trying to figure out what is Baako and what is me, because like I'm like, we'll just let him go. But what Baako do? Okay.
Oh man.
Okay. So
always knew there was something different about her.
That's okay.
You're just gonna talk shit about her?
She's
I wonder
perfect. Stop. We need to
I'm not saying that she's imperfect or that
Stop.
she's perfect.
we need to okay, but
the real question
we'll deal
is
with
what does
Ambrose is knocked out.
I always knew this. I'd like to experiment on her. That's all I have to say.
No more experiments, Kavi. You're not touching
Well, I mean,
Persephone.
if Persephone consents.
No.
that would be
Ezra's going to ask what makes me vulnerable in this situation because I need tokens.
So what can I answer that, or does it have to be one of y'all that answer that?
I mean, the setting could answer it, or the whatever has possessed Persephone can answer it.
I have an answer.
Okay.
But I didn't want to. I think that whoever's possessing Persephone hit a nerve because one of your lures asked you for protection, and she straight up said, whoever's possessing Persephone said you couldn't protect her. And what was the question you asked?
What makes me vulnerable in this situation?
Worrying. I would say worrying that that this being is correct, and also that maybe you heard whatever Ambrose said about how our family will all die if we don't do a sacrifice, or something, and he's needed for that. I don't know, but I think that whoever this being is knows you.
If he dies, it puts an end to the deal.
With Kavi?
Wait, knows me?
No. I'm talking about the deal that the father has with the dark figure, or whatever.
I mean, I'm thinking like you have the move also to you could win a fight.
Yeah. I certainly could. I didn't know we were going that direction.
I don't know. We might not.
I was gonna say if there's because I don't want to take away from stuff that y'all want to do, but for one of the moves, reveal the abundance.
Oh, sorry.
The reveal the abundance move it's probably like fairly observant. Like, is anyone in here fairly observant? Or
I'd say Baako and Kavi especially.
We are very observant.
Okay, wasn't sure if it was sort of like a mad scientist type deal or deep down. But okay, so awesome, great, observant. So just looking around the office, you see a lot of relics. One would think like, man, this dude is a collector. He's got things from the Roman era, things from the Byzantine era, just over the last, about 1,000 years, just things throughout time. And you see there's like lots of in this office as well, family crests, but atypically, like, there's not really a family tree genealogy anywhere in here. So that puts you a little off as well for people of their stature of society. You see over on the desk this basically it's a tome, a very old book with like a very old journal basically of Ambrose's writings throughout the many, many, many years of his life.
Is it a Horcrux?
No, but basically this is like, when you're in the video games, you find two of lore.
Yeah,
much it.
Right. I do have an idea. I mean, Ezra is like not paying attention to anything else. They're very concerned about whatever is possessing Persephone,
Mhm.
and like incredibly like terrified that like one, it's gonna kill her and Ezra won't be able to protect her, and two, that it might kill everyone. So if Kavi and Baako are looking at the items, I was gonna do a thing.
Well, really quickly, I wanted to ask, am I the hunter or the hunted right now?
Oh, nice. Good question.
So you're asking the setting that question.
Yeah, the setting or whatever's possessing Persephone.
Both can answer.
I was gonna say I'll
So-
let the possessed and the possessor answer first, and then I'll answer for the setting.
So as she's like about to stab him in the head or something, she like does like a creepy look at you, and she looks into your heart and sees you truly and says, what did she say? She says something creepy. Something creepy. So she can feel, I would say that she senses your question, like, am I here to hunt or be hunted? Because like this is a very, you're not the one doing a lot of the action right now. And I would say they say to you, it depends on whether you want justice to be done.
Oh God.
Interesting.
And I gave
Yeah.
a token if you choose to pursue justice.
And I mean, I want justice. Yes, I would choose to pursue justice.
So you're basically the settings answer would be just taking a look around this office and what's going on. If you continue the way things have been and maintain the status quo, you will always be hunted. But if you change things up and let this possessed Persephone complete her action, then you will be the hunter.
Okay.
Akko's just gonna think about that. Well,
I'm so stressed right now.
oh no!
Oh,
Find out
no.
next season.
I am going to spend a token to encounter the supernatural with thorough preparation or knowledge. And as I'm looking around the room and observing what's going on, I'm talking to Baako and like kind of like a soft voice as like the thoughts are like coming together and like reminiscing in my head. And so I say, okay, so she's possessed. And from what I know of spirits, there are spirits that are angry, and either there's only certain ways that you can have them removed from the body. Either you need a ritual or you need something to motivate them out of the body.
Are you talking out loud?
Yes. Or you need
Great.
some type of vessel that will encourage them out
I
of
have
the
those
body.
things, Kavi.
You do?
Yeah.
What things? What are you talking about?
I can just show you.
Okay.
Ezra's going to reach
Slow-mo
for
stabbing.
Ezra's going to like reach for Persephone and like kind of like grab her shoulders and like her face, and Ezra is going to take an inhibited move and win a brawl and limp away beaten and bloody, and is literally going to like look in Persephone's eyes and say, "You don't belong there." And you are going to promptly see Ezra's like soul begin to like break out of like their chest, and what you know as to be venom kind of like going up Ezra's arms into Persephone, and venom is going to promptly beat the living shit out of whatever is possessing Persephone.
It's a spirit fight.
And like you can hear, and like venom is saying like you don't belong in this body.
So you hear the otherworldly voice say, "You don't know what belongs here. Who are you?"
I house. And as this is happening, like Ezra is like completely like lost consciousness and like has like a gaping wound in their chest. Like and so Venom says, I do know this person. I know we're gonna Venom speaks in third person. we know Persephone very well. We know their monstrous desires, and you're not one of them.
The other Persephone or whatever says, "Yes, we all know that you know each other biblically." So that's cut someone down with sharp words or secrets.
However, I win this, bro. I win this.
You're going to, but it's not going to happen quickly.
Just being very clear here.
Yeah. And sense something unseen or obscured, and is going to sense that it's trying to be pushed out, and is going to put up a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
But does drop the scissors.
So I'm going to take a transgressive move and overwhelm an obstacle through brute force. And I'm going to like, you know how Doctor Strange does like the slam and like it like moves out of the body?
Yeah!
That's exactly what Venom does. And like this like, I don't know what this spirit looks like normally, but like everybody sees this like thing just like fly out of Persephone, and it's like extended in air.
So we'll say it looks like almost like a negative of Persephone. You know how like she's been controlling the shadows and stuff like that. So it looks like Persephone, but like it's a negative black and white film kind of thing. So like a dark wraith that looks almost exactly like her. And it shoots out from behind Persephone, and I use a transgressive move, look into someone's heart and see them truly, and immediately sees Ezra. Persephone sees Ezra, and runs to him or them, and just says, "I'm so sorry. Like, I have so much hatred." And like whatever was in her, it kind of like disconnects, and I don't know what we do with that, but Persephone's here. She's back.
Well, you need to give Ezra her soul back.
How do I do that?
I don't know. I don't know how do
Stephanie
you do that,
like looks
Persephone?
up and is like, "I had a dream and you're all there." Baako, what do I do? What's wrong with Ezra? What's happening?
When you hear venom in your head, like you hear
what the fuck?
You hear, you hear Venom in your head say, "You know what to do."
Persephone
Kiss
kisses
her!
Ezra. Yeah, Persephone kisses Ezra. I guess I use transgressive move. Claim your desires or gift as part of you. And kisses Ezra. Very Sleeping Beauty or whatever ish. But like way better.
Without non-consensual
Without kidnapping.
baby.
We're not going green.
So you feel Venom like leave you, and Ezra opens her eyes.
Does the hole close up?
Well, no, because not completely, because I have to be bloody. I have to be.
You still have to be bloodied.
So now instead of it just being a gaping hole, it's a bloody hole.
It's like a yeah, something like that.
Persephone says, "Welcome back."
So
yeah,
did it work?
As Persephone kisses Ezra and she feels
oh my God, what?
Their self come back into how they are supposed to be. I'm gonna do the
give us
reveal
a second,
the old ways
because I bet you have a really important thing to say. To Neil, just
why are you derailing us? We have a time limit.
That's my job.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's my job.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help writing it down.
I understand the impulse.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay. Jen, what were you saying? Don't worry, such Winky. It's not for polite company. Someone was like, "What? What happened?"
But as you feel that, Ezra, that Venom the Beast leaves, then lets Ezra come back, you also have another vision like you had before, like during the flashback sequence, and you see more like the flash forward of what happened after that deal of your father. Basically, the deal he made, he had to sacrifice the lives of others to prolong his life and the life of your mother. And so that started out with him as a soldier killing other people in wars, and over the years figuring there's a more better efficient way to do this, and gaining wealth, gaining power. And now he has industries and dangerous factories in which people go and slave away their lives and die either from accidents or medical disease. And now you understand this is the sacrifice that your family has made.
Do I get a sense of what happens if I kill him?
If you kill him, then the deal would be dissolved. He would die. Your mom would die, as they've lived many hundreds of years past what humans would live. But you and your sister Eris would continue out your lives normally.
So after kissing Ezra and spacing out for a good 30 minutes, maybe, I don't know, or 30 seconds, she doesn't know.
You may not know, but seems like forever, but maybe wasn't forever.
She's gonna open up her eyes and look to Baako and say, "You might have something to hunt in a minute, and I'll use the inhibited move to invite a spirit to possess a loved one. But loved one is a loose term because I'm gonna use it on my father, and I'm gonna invite the. I had an idea that it was another version of Persephone, called Kore that was possessing her, because that was her name in other mythologies, and is going to invite Kore to possess her father and destroy him.
So
And,
yeah, what does that look like?
I mean, maybe like, since Ambrose is unconscious, it might be a lot like what happened to Persephone, but not willingly. And
So much more like a puppet.
More like a puppet, but also like maybe she could destroy him from the inside out, or she could make it so that his I don't know. It's up to you, really, because you're him now and her. And I feel like this would be a perfect quarry for the hunter, but
And
I don't know. With help, of course. I'm not just going to leave it all for you.
Because I could just win a fight through excessive violence. Now that your father is possessed by, do we trust the spirit Kore?
Ezra absolutely does not.
Persephone says that she protected me when I was at my most vulnerable. But, like, you know, I mean, she doesn't tell me the truth, so I don't know.
Okay. I will take that as a no. And after the body has been possessed, all of our enemies are now in one form. So I will win this fight through excessive violence.
Yes.
And gain a token for that. So we brought a lot of stabby weapons, but we do have 2 dueling pistols, each with 1 shot. So I will use those. 1 in the head, 1 in the heart.
So yeah, so as the possession completes and Ambrose's body is rising up, acting under Kore now, he turns to Ambrose. Kore turns to Persephone, and before they can speak, Baako, you seemingly end the struggle.
Bam, bam.
Double tap.
Ooh.
Impressive.
And is it okay if I kind of take over the setting just a little bit?
Yeah.
So, there's a hole in his head, there's a hole in his heart, and he's bleeding, and, and his life, ends. And in that moment, there's a bottle that kind of glows on the shelf. And Kavi has been, just looking around and also like just paying attention, just observing. So I'm going to spend my token and deduce a hidden truth or secret. And Kavi is going to go over to that bottle and then, look at Baako, look at Persephone, look at Ezra, and say, I think this is one of those vessels. And it's glowing. And they take the top off, and a spirit comes out. And it's a teenage girl with long brown hair and glowing eyes. And she floats over to Persephone. And she says, "Thank you."
Heather? This is awkward.
And then she floats up to the ceiling.
Okay, bye.
And she's gone.
What? Wow. Cool. I didn't know it was gonna go there. I thought you were gonna like destroy a phylactery or something.
Leave it to Neil.
Ooh. I guess I have a couple funerals to plan. Woo.
I guess we'll postpone moving to the farm for a little bit.
What?
Oh, right. Yeah. So we're
We're
gonna
getting
just
out.
leave
We're
London
leaving.
after this.
I mean, we could, or like my parents are dead, so
Yeah, but we still have this issue with the creatures. I mean, it's going to take a lot of time to try to heal them and get them in control of themselves. And I mean, this place is going to hell in a handbasket. Like even with him not alive, like like, have you seen the city? Like the city it is getting destroyed.
so
Like just leave.
Persephone's gonna look at Ezra and says, "I'll go where you go," but I also
That's
don't.
what I was gonna say.
But I also don't think that we can fix things by not being here.
Ezra's like, well, I've been thinking about what would happen to the people from the factory if who would run the factory? What would happen to their jobs?
They could run the factory. We can start a union. Okay.
Union.
I mean, we're the only ones that
Technically-
know what happened here.
Technically, Persephone, you own the factory now.
My
I
thoughts
I
exactly.
think Persephone owns a lot of things now.
Yeah.
I think we'll put the moving to the country on hold and we'll come back
Sounds
to
like
that.
a great vacation place, which we desperately need one.
Yes. Yes, we do.
I also need to find out if he was like marrying me off, because if so, there's some dude here waiting to get married.
Yeah,
That's true. We have no idea what that event was.
Jen, what was that going to be? What do we find when we like look around the house to pick up and find my dead mom?
I was like, I wonder how long they're gonna have this conversation.
That's how you know we've seen some stuff. When we just immediately change topic to something lighthearted.
So, how's that sandwich?
Yeah.
So your father's body is laying on the floor, and it looks like he has been dead a long time, not rotten, but like a preserved, dried corpse.
hey.
Great. Looks better
Um,
this way.
Okay, wait, are we going to okay.
I thought that was like kind of like what is the after?
Yeah,
I just want to know what his plan was.
I think
And then we'll do a
Oh.
quick epilogue.
So quick epilogue. So you find out from the servants that didn't just totally up and skedaddle from all that was that your father had planned to basically you returned home finally, and you were going to be either inducted into like the next generation of the family, or you would not be part of the family anymore.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, it was either you choose to carry
forever
on
or
his
die
legacy and the extension of the deal that he has made, or
wow.
would
Oh,
unfortunately
damn.
sacrifice you.
All right.
That is worse than marriage.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
don't
part
know.
of the continuing on the legacy,
All right.
you can be immortal and get married to Chad.
right? That's what he's done for hundreds of years.
Wow. Intense.
That was good.
I think that wraps up the story.
Yes. Epilogues.
Epilogues. Let's say
So,
it's like a year in the future.
okay.
What parts of the London stuff that we've picked out still exist?
I think the slums are still flooding. We never addressed that.
No.
There's still bloodless bodies showing up.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'd say the mist is a little less choking.
I would also say that there's like no more shared dreams or voices on the wind.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
Yes, that's good.
Okay.
And at least some of the industrial looms aren't as loud.
Yeah.
It's more cheerful than oppressive.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And I'm guessing since now Persephone owns the textile factory that she's I mean, what would you have done with it?
Are we doing Persephone's epilogue?
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, I had talked with you about this a little bit, Kayla, like a couple of my ideas, because, well, I mean, if her parents are dead, she doesn't have to pass as a dude. So I think if Ezra is willing, Ezra and Persephone live together and have been working on routing out the evil in the textile mills and all. My dog is like, pay attention to me. Yeah, I think that Persephone, since Ezra had worked in the textile mill, she would rely on her expertise and would help make sure that the living conditions are better. Would the other creature that was in the dungeons would, it's always got to be at least one bloodless body, sorry, somewhere. Yeah, I think that Ezra and Persephone live happily ever after in the mansion, but there does have to be some explaining, and there was a lovely funeral where Persephone played her part and looked like she was grieving. And she also had a memorial for Heather and her family, and I don't know, I had like other ideas, but I want to know Kayla's opinions.
I think Ezra. I think Ezra also, I think Ezra lives with Persephone. I can't imagine Ezra like being very comfortable, like not being close, because that was very traumatic.
Yeah.
That was an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Ezra still has the it's a rather large scar, because that's what happens when your soul leaves your body and returns. I imagine that Ezra is helping Persephone with the factory, and does not gamble as much or go to the Queen's Head much.
Drink as much? Or she still drinks as much?
No, probably not.
And like also, like, I don't know if they'd be comfortable living at the Mara estate. They could live at Ezra's pad, but make it like a little bit more habitable. I don't know. I don't know what it looked like.
That's a very small.
Oh, never mind.
A studio.
They're gonna renovate the estate. They're gonna burn some shit to the ground.
Yeah.
Go meet my sister. Oh yeah, this is my sister.
I imagine Ezra asks Persephone to marry her. Though you can't really get married, but you know.
Well, we have like a really nice ceremony.
It's a spiritual marriage.
I mean, to be fair, Ezra can morph in societal ways, so it is what it is. But
well,
yes,
we have a ceremony at the farm.
At the farm,
not at the farm. Estate. Well, right. Yeah, because we want to invite our friends, and I would say though that Persephone no longer has the dark powers of Kore, but she did inherit her mother's powers when her mother passed away. But that will be revealed in another chapter. Maybe. I don't know.
Da da da.
I don't know. I feel like Ezra's story's told. We'll see. You never know.
Would Ezra like wanna try to pass as a man when they're in public, or what?
No, I don't think so.
Yay!
Only when it's convenient, or they can get something from it.
Or if they want to like be in public together and not have to hide it, maybe.
Maybe. Or
I
maybe
mean,
they just leave us alone because they can feel that we are.
powerful as fuck.
Yeah.
The last person who said something to them was not heard from again.
I mean, a few people were not heard from.
Rowan Mirage has not been seen.
I don't know. What about Baako and Kavi?
Yes.
Well, for Baako, they are still hunting and still looking for the creatures in the shadows, but now having friends, family, a new family to help support that, and having a place maybe to call home that is not the old decrepit house with Kavi. And Reginald's there as well.
With your chicken tendies.
Chicken
What about
tendies.
Peter?
Yes.
And ranch.
Peter stops by sometimes. But Bako's definitely also working in like developing the idea of unions and getting that going, because these working conditions aren't great. And there's also a lot of other stuff that we need to fix institutionally, like the Scotland Yard, but we'll deal with that at a different time as well.
Right.
They have a nemesis in James
Yeah.
Monroe.
Yeah.
Rooting out the corrupt police.
Yeah, Kavi definitely wants to spend some time out in the country on vacation, and they invite all of you to come. These are definitely like high moments for Kavi, and just like relaxing and enjoying that. They continually have like these moments with Baako that are very romantic, listening to music, reading something pleasant, feeding Baako chocolate covered strawberries, or other things that they're like. And I would say after like 2 or 3 years of them like living together, Kavi would let them know that Kavi has a way of inventing, like it's a new method of inventing a new way of life, a new life that is, they know how to create a child from 2 women or 2 men, or those with no gender. And if that's something that Bako's interested in, that's something that Kavi would be okay with, kind of like extending the family a little bit. And this is something that Kavi is going to be like more focused on. And that is like connecting to queer communities, bringing them out into the country for parties, and connecting and, finding places of support, and also helping them to have the family that they want, if that's what they want.
Baako would break down at the idea of family. And then, yeah, I think Z would accept.
Yeah, we can both be pregnant together.
Yay. Or no.
No.
That's a lot.
Baako still has some hunting to do.
Oh god, you guys. All right. Is that our epilogues?
I had a question.
Oh.
If I had a question for Jen.
Okay.
Is that the last we hear of Ambrose and Guinevere? And Corey? And I guess maybe that shadowy devil thing.
Yeah, that's still out there for sure.
Okay.
Find out in chapter 2.
Yes. That was awesome.
Yay! All right. I think we're ready. We're ready to go into our game designer questions and then into debrief, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So how should we do this?
Let's see if this change works. Here.
Ooh, I love it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It looks great.
I think I got everything.
Yes,
So
you do. Gaze of our lives.
If you guys want, I can read the questions and you guys can
sure
answer them.
Well, okay. So the first little section, we reached out to Luke from Games from the Wildwood, the creator, and asked them to answer some questions for us. So we do have those questions. I also see that they were in the chat. So hi, thanks for catching it and watching it.
Yeah,
been a lot of fun to play. So we were gonna start with those answers to make sure that we left enough time to get those questions answered and out there into the world, and then and then we'll go into the debrief for the final debrief questions. And if you want to ask the questions and moderate, that's totally fine with me. There are questions there for you as well, so we can do it that way. That works for
awesome. Me. Awesome. I like it.
Who wants to read the first part? Do the first part.
You mean the question to the creator?
Yeah, yeah.
I can read the question and maybe someone else should read the answer.
So if you want, I can read the answers for y'all.
Okay, sounds good.
Sounds great.
All right. Many fictional narratives have queer-coded characters and queer themes. What was it about Gothic horror specifically that inspired you to make Grand Guignol? Luke from Wildwood Games.
So Luke answered, this answer has to begin with Penny Dreadful, a show that is glorious and lush and has some really insightful reflections on Victoriana, while also being deeply uncomfortable sometimes. I loved the show, and I wish that it had committed harder to a queer reading. And so the seed of Grand Guignol was my desire to write a game that could capture that literary Victorian Gothic crossover vibe with queerer and class-conscious politics. There's also a key repression of desire and intimacy in the Victorian period, constrained modes of speech and codes of propriety, and a particular relationship with touch that I found fascinating and which felt poignantly queer. The last vital piece of the puzzle is how central gender and desire are as sites of transgression for Gothic monsters, which I only realized the extent of as I began to write. I finished The Gate and realized there was a potential reading of the werewolf as repressed, monstrous desire, which became the beast. And along with that came the game's whole thesis about queer monstrosity and Victorian cultural anxiety, and then I was fully brought in. Then also the rise of industrial modernity and the collapse of the pastoral economy as a moment in British history that fascinates me. So getting to talk about those structural forces was a real draw as well.
Is there a particular character, story arc, or trope that speaks to you?
I'm still very fond of how tightly and sharply The Gate tells a resonant story about deviance and alienation. The Embrace of Night is also quite personal. It speaks pretty directly out of the spiteful impulse I sometimes feel when I'm confronted with queerphobic hysteria and accusations of how we're all trying to ruin society, to just say, yeah, we are trying to ruin your toxic bigoted spaces. You caught me.
I like your
That
adding
is,
the
that is awesome. Yeah.
The mood.
Yeah. The playbooks each have very specific psychological components to them, such as the beast wanting to be a protector and the scholar's search for answers and knowledge. What influenced or inspired your choices for the lures and playbooks? What challenges did you face when creating them?
Some of the playbooks came easily. The core themes and resonance of the beast and the gate was very clear and immediate, for example. I don't think in hindsight that it was an accident that those were the playbooks where I was most directly in dialogue with characters from Penny Dreadful and some of the thematic and authorial choices the show had made. The core conceit of the scholar, Frankenstein's dream as an application of queer theory, was always clear, but broadening it outside of the specificity of that one great example was difficult. The ward was a pretty clear concept once I knew I wanted to represent that kind of ingenuine role. The hunter was the biggest challenge, and I remember spending weeks thinking about how to handle the vampire hunter archetype and find a queer lens that felt truthful and like it had something to say. And then eventually, after writing The Blood That Flows and keying in on vampires as capitalists, it suddenly came to me all at once. The hunter was out for justice, to be avenged on the homophobic institutions and monsters that destroyed their life and to spare others the same fate. I think the real challenge was how thoughtful I had to be once I'd set out to make the queer reading textual. The Patron, which will be included as a new playbook in the second edition, was going to be part of the original release. A couple days prior to publication, I reread it and suddenly realized that the game's general framing of transgression versus inhibition and the patron's identity as a queer person with privilege and secrets intersected in ways that made some really unfortunate and judgmental statements about being closeted that didn't reflect my opinions at all. There was no clear fix I could see, and so I discarded the playbook. And it was only after a year of thinking about it off and on that I found a framing that preserved what was interesting about the original idea, but that I could be proud of. In going back to the second edition, there's also been a challenge with some playbooks, mainly the hunter and the scholar, of finding ways to sharpen and bring forward the queer aspects and make sure that the themes were as clear as I could make them.
We have found this game to be incredibly helpful for exploring our identities regarding gender and sexuality. While you were conceiving of, developing, and playtesting this game, did you have any particular growth or increased insight into your own experiences?
Not so much during the writing process itself, but in returning to the game 18 months on for the second edition, there was a definite moment where I became suddenly aware of how much more comfortable and articulate I felt in my identity and how much broader my view of queerness was, thanks to many wonderful people I'd met over the intervening time than during the original draft.
Oh, that's wonderful. What, if anything, did you do to bring forward queer themes in the game?
More than anything else, it was a conscientious effort throughout to just constantly look for ways to highlight and draw out and lean into those themes. If I had to pick one thing, though, I'd go with the choose 2 ways other people see you and 2 ways you see yourself. I think it strikes a great balance between providing a lot of rich space for exploration of gender and queerness, while not mandating that folks engage with period prejudice or restrictions if they don't want to.
All right, now we're going into the debrief.
Which I just want to say that I'm really grateful that Luke was willing to answer
Yes.
those questions, especially so
Yes.
thoroughly, and like it's giving me other ideas for like
Yeah.
my answers to debrief questions. So,
I do have to
Thank
say,
Thank you so much, Luke.
yeah.
I really appreciate it.
I do have to say that the choose two ways other people see you and two ways you see yourself. I think that was one of my favorite questions on the playbook. Like, this is great. I like this a lot.
I would have, like, even though I didn't play a player character, I did look over all those things you guys did in my prepping to play, and I think that, like, as a therapist that uses games with clients, that's one of like the really powerful components, because it makes you think about how do you feel about yourself, and like, does that line up or not with other people?
Yeah, and like I try to work primarily with LGBTQ folks, and like that's a huge part of our work. Is how do we make you align with what people see?
Definitely.
And then
Do
we
I
had
get
our
into the questions?
Yeah.
Right. Take it away, Jen.
Yeah.
The first like few questions are the first few questions are kind of like our typical questions, but yeah. Take it away.
Okay. All right. So, is there a decision other than another character made that surprised you during the game? Persephone.
So many. I mean, starting from when Tennille made it so my character got turned on by someone else's sweat. And to
That did happen.
Yeah, that happened first episode. To Jesse, what was it? You did something crazy. You like having
You're-
like
I was thinking of that. I don't know if you were thinking of the woman who worked at the Queen's Head, who was in charge of you, and how she was a part of that. I mean, that was
like specifically the kidnapping. Yeah, like Powder.
Yes.
You're unconscious. Like, oh well, that's how that happened. Okay. To even like you, Jen, like that flashback, like, or not like the memory or something, like that vision she had.
At the end,
like, yeah, of like the deal being made with the devil. Oh, so good. Yeah, so there are many decisions. Well, I guess those were like you guys playing the settings, but like, and it was just really fun to see how everyone made this story. So that's my terrible answer.
Yeah. Like, I will say the one that like surprised me the most was Ezra giving part of her soul to Persephone. That was great.
Yeah, like I had a lot of speechless moments in this last episode. Like, what the fuck? That was pretty cool.
I was definitely surprised at some moments when Baako opened up, and I didn't really expect Baako to open up as quickly as Baako did. So that was pretty cool. Still surprised by Ezra's, basically Kayla doing the setting of Bako's uncle coming in, giving us this information. He's a beast. He's dead. Then
now he's alive.
He's dead. Now he's alive. Dad. Now he's gone.
I forgot about that.
Something else to be resolved next chapter.
Yeah, I did do that.
Oh, that's right. He's still out in London somewhere.
I was trying to find a way to get you information.
It was great.
this isn't a character, but I mean, I guess I am surprised at how much the audience has liked Gunther, and how much I've enjoyed playing him. Even though he didn't end up doing a scene during today, that's okay. It's definitely fun playing him.
What has surprised you about today's play?
Well, it's kind of the same question.
I was surprised by the scene with Heather and Persephone. I wasn't expecting that it was going to start with when she kissed a girl. I mean, she's mentioned it multiple times.
We had to talk, which I almost forgot to make it like start her power. I don't know. I almost forgot, and I was like, shit, I need to say that. But yeah, that was cute until it wasn't. Neil, if you were talking to us, we did not hear it. But I don't think
that was because my husband came in while I'm doing a live stream. So, yeah. And he synced in and kissed me while I'm doing the live stream too. I don't know if
dare he?
Did not see that. Okay.
No,
okay, well that's
all right.
Anyway.
I do want to say that Baako's question, am I the hunted or the hunter, in that scene was because like I was like, I want to know what Kavi and Baako are doing, because they're not, well, Kavi might be an observer, but Baako's not. Like Baako, I mean, yes, you're a hunter, so you'll have to observe, but like I was like, what is Baako doing right now? Like, what are they doing? And I like how that was where you had your character be like, what am I supposed to do right now? Am I the hunter or am I the hunted? And I was like, shit, how do I answer this? You guys are just so good.
It's good answers.
Yeah, and I liked that I was able to have space to have my character open up about being asexual and just have Baako just respond like, yeah, that's fine. You know, like like just open acceptance. Not that I'm hugely surprised by it, but it was a little surprising, but it was great.
So answering as your player character, what did you appreciate about your play? Oh, I'm sorry. I think I read that wrong. Answer as player. What did you appreciate about your play or someone else's play today?
Jen, I appreciated you stepping in and playing Ambrose and like playing the different rooms and just like coming in for the finale.
Thank you. It's been a treat and a privilege to come and play with you guys today.
I'm just so grateful. Like when we found out that Nina couldn't help, I was like, hey Jen, what are you doing? You're like, sure. I was like, thank you.
It was good.
Yeah, it was
good work.
And you did a great job. Like,
thank you. It's been exciting and terrifying.
Yeah, there's something that's just, I don't know, it helps me to immerse in it so much when the big baddie comes in and it's an actual like person. And so like I have no idea what you're gonna say or what's gonna happen or what notes were exchanged. So I really appreciated, Jennifer, you coming in and helping us out.
It was awesome.
Your play was appreciated.
And like much appreciation for Nina and her notes and help from Hallie on the backstory with Persephone's family.
Yeah, Nina like made a whole backstory for Ambrose and was like, yeah, we talked about that. And I was like, no, we didn't.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, okay, I'll let you two talk. So
I want to see this backstory so much.
I think you got most of it.
I also want to say that I definitely appreciated Hallie's descriptions today and the scenes and everything. It is really good.
Thanks.
Yeah. So did you connect with your playbook And what aspects did you connect with if you did? Were they rooted in your queerness?
Do we want to
I
go in order?
Yeah, okay, so I'll go first. Yeah, I definitely connected with the scholar, and it was really kind of weird because out of all of the different playbooks, I was like, I'm gonna like go against the grain and do something that I'm not really expecting, because I don't know that I really was as excited about the scholar at first. But I really got into it. I mean, I've always considered myself to be a smart person, but I definitely, there are spaces in my actual life where I don't really present that like out to the forefront, because of my skin color, because of my gender. Um, and so it was wonderful for me to really just kind of like claim that, like, wow, yeah, I am smart, and I'm going to tell people I'm smart, and I'm just going to rock it. So that was pretty awesome. As regarding it, like, it's, if it's rooted in my queerness, I think there might be some possibilities that are in there. Um, you know, I definitely have some masculine traits, that I've just always accepted. Like, yeah, I'm kind of, in some ways, I'm a little masculine. I like to wear men's shoes. Sometimes I like to wear men's clothes, and they're just comfortable and I like them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Um, Although, of course, there's that theory of thought that clothes don't have a gender. So, whatever. Um, but yeah, for sure. I liked being the scholar, and I think the more that I played, the more I enjoyed it. Um, so I feel like super connected to it.
You done? Is that your final answer? So the beast. So I chose the beast intentionally, but not for the reasons Tennille thinks I chose the beast. I think Tennille thought I was going to end up playing a vampire. But
Yep.
but I chose I chose the beast because there was a lot of feelings that I had in high school are really rooted in the beast's like whole kind of conflict. Right? Like just living with running from things, but also trying to control things that didn't make sense, and also very angry and not necessarily completely in control of when they would express that anger, right? Um, and so I saw a lot of myself in the beast, which is also why I was super intentional with some of the choices I made in terms of like choose 2 ways society sees you and 2 ways you see yourself, which I chose based on I mean, some of them I didn't choose. Like, I do not see myself as dissolute at all. I'm not out here like drinking and partying all the time, but the 2 ways that society sees me are accurate, in the sense that I am misperceived often and misgendered often. Um, and that's been something that has existed since I was a kid and could make my own clothing choices. So, um, the beast was like a deeply personal choice. I was like, wasn't sure I wanted to play the beast at first, but then I was like, well, let's just lean into it, I guess, and see what happens. And I managed to get some really, I think, healing things out of it. Um, so that's a plus. Yeah. I think that answers the question.
Okay. Then I'll go next. So I was playing the Hunter playbook, and it, I don't, it, it kind of stood out to me as like playing the opposite of me in a lot of ways. At least I thought going in, and then seeing what like came out of that as we've been playing, of like looking at, I don't know, it just, as I feel like I don't have words today. Today is a words day, but just because I was drawn to it because it was like, oh, this is the opposite. This is someone who had everything and then lost that. And I wanted to be like, okay, what would that be? How would that look to lose all of those things and be scared of even trying to connect with people afterwards? Because I love connecting with people. I just love hanging out, interacting with people. And I was like, okay, what would the opposite look like? What would drive that? And then realizing, oh, look at all of these parts of myself and queerness and everything that is still hidden and not connected with people just because of life, still discovering and understanding myself and just being like, huh, this hit a bit closer to home than I thought it would.
Right.
Can I say something
Yeah.
about yours? So when Jen was reading one of Luke's answers about the hunter, how it was the biggest challenge, and then going back to it and realizing that it was about seeking out justice, like you really did an amazing job.
Mhm.
I think that of encapsulating that part, like even from the very beginning, I think when we were still using the version the version 1.
Yeah, edition 1.
And because I know with the second edition there was more information added about different playbooks, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like Jessica did that the whole time. Just a great job. Oh, I guess it's my turn.
It's your turn.
I just want to tell you all you're amazing. Did I connect with I connected with my playbook quite a bit, but I was very surprised by that because the gate. So I also watched Penny Dreadful after we started playing this, or once we decided on playing this game. Like I immediately started binge watching it, and I think I signed up for a subscription by accident, and I need to cancel that.
You did.
I did, yeah. And so it's definitely really influenced by Vanessa Ives, I think her name is. And I don't love playing super feminine characters, and Persephone was very much that, and I kind of skewed other people's ages when I was like, she's 20, because I needed her to have just escaped her family, but I also wanted her to be an adult. So
yeah, I'm so glad we got that out of the way.
Yeah, like I needed her to be an adult, but young enough that it still made sense in Victorian London for her to still be exploring these parts of her identity and hiding from her family and stuff. And while I haven't had to hide from my family or anything like that, I only recently came out as queer, and not even to my whole family. I'm sure that most of them suspect, but I came out to my dad on Father's Day, and he accepted it really well, and that was great. So I'm very fortunate to not have a bad dad named Ambrose. But I definitely, there is a large part of me that is worried about what the rest of my family is going to think when this is no longer an unspoken thing, because that is going to happen. Like maybe one day they'll watch one of these shows. I doubt it, but
will definitely not be unspoken.
Yeah,
for sure, which is probably scary on some level.
With the pandemic, I'm kind of like, whatevs. So in some ways, with Persephone, this huge thing happened to her, so she was like, fuck it, and decided to go live her life away from her family. Like I'm not doing it quite so dramatically after my lover was killed, or whatever happened there. But yeah, with the pandemic, a lot of people have said, screw it, I'm just gonna try to be my authentic self, and that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So I love Persephone, and I don't usually like playing magic characters or anything like that. Like I like, I don't know. She was so much fun, and I think I finally really grasped like the moves in this final episode. I channeled Jesse's abilities.
You know what? Power token spending and gaining is the best way to play.
It took me a while to like interpret the moves and like try to figure out how they could look. That can be a little literal sometimes, but I really enjoyed it. And yes, it was rooted in my queerness, all of this. So I feel
I
like
know we have a whole bunch of questions, but looking at the time, I think we might just have time for y'all's final goodbye.
well, we have to ask you, Jen.
Um,
I think we have a little bit of time. It is, well, 8:15 here. 8-ish.
okay, hold on. Why don't Jen answer your question?
So Jen, having been a viewer, what was your experience going from being a viewer to being like very literally pulled into the story, or figuratively pulled into the story?
It lines up perfectly with my life motto of exciting and terrifying. I love playing tabletop RPGs, especially I've gotten to play with a few of you guys before. I don't think I've ever gotten to play with Jesse or Kayla. I don't think I've ever gotten to play with you guys. So it was like, oh my gosh, I hope I can play all right. But it was an amazing ride.
Would you say that playing the settings and Ambrose and any other characters, was any of it particularly difficult or particularly interesting for you? Like,
Oh yeah, always interesting. I think like the interesting and the difficult a little bit both go hand in hand, because I kind of have with Nina's notes was able to like, okay, this is the dude's backstory, but now I need to like breathe life into the person, but also do that in a outside belonging format. And so like it's not the traditional GM structure, not the traditional player structure. So it's like, okay, how do I bring all this character to the table, but with a give and take mentality of the action.
I think you did a good job of making him seem so reasonable. And I think that's almost the most menacing part about villains like this. You can totally understand how they got to their place, because they seem like good, upstanding members of society that do so much good. You did a good job.
Thank you.
And
all right, so we're gonna answer one more question, and then we'll go into our farewells. So what have you learned about yourself or others in playing this game? And how did it impact your relationship to your own queerness? So, and actually, I'll even bring it back to another question that talked about scenes, because there were two scenes that just kind of connect all of that together for me. So the scene where Detective Monroe comes to confront Kavi is like the moment when Kavi gets to actually be more themselves and basically like just kind of show off their intellect. And I've never done that in real life before. And so it was like, it was scary, it was thrilling, and I loved the new experience. There were a lot of emotions going through me during that scene, and I enjoyed all of them. So I learned I learned about myself, I guess, how much I don't really show off my knowledge as much as I could show off. So, which is, kind of interesting. And then another thing that comes to my mind is when I recited a poem, when Kavi recited a poem for Baako. And that was also very scary for me, but also very exciting, very nerve wracking. And I did actually spend days coming up with that poem, like moving the words around, like having it be like exactly what I want to be. Because I actually am a true romantic. But I think that in society, there's been these messages that I've gotten that it's not okay for me to be romantic because of my gender. And I'm supposed to let the man be the romantic one. And I just wait and just enjoy it. But now I'm thinking to myself, well, why does it have to be like that? Right. So I feel like what I've learned is I actually can explore my romantic side. And I'm pretty confident my partner would love it if I did that more often. And so that was a great thing for me to kind of explore and enjoy and learn about myself. So yeah.
There is a clip of the poem. What did I learn about myself or others? So I was not intending on going a romance route until Hallie incorrectly asked a question.
Oh,
and then I committed to having that answer remain the answer even when she asked the question correctly. But in doing that, I had this, like, as I was playing, I had this realization of like how much of my like younger self I had put in Ezra, and like had this realization like, oh, we're gonna play that out. Okay, I guess that's what we're gonna do. And like had unintentionally done it without realizing that like there was stuff that still needed to be worked through in a way. And timing is everything. So it just kind of, it was interesting because I was like 2 episodes in and I was like, I think this is like a thing that this is absolutely a thing that like high school Kayla experienced. How would it look if the responses were different, right? Which is something that I have played out in a lot of other games as well. And I was like intentionally trying not to go that route this game, and it happened anyway. So it was interesting because I was like, I didn't think I needed this, but I guess I did. And I was telling you all earlier that it's definitely, Ezra's great. I love Ezra. I think Ezra's probably one of my favorite characters I've ever played. And I very much really kind of, it's like something like clicked into place during the 4 episodes we've had. And Ezra just, I think Ezra ended the game whole and solved the issue that they were having with their soul, and by doing that in conjunction with a few other things that kind of happened in my life, it's like I can finally put that thing that I was trying to work through or play out or have experience in a different way, like doesn't need to happen anymore. So, and I've since kind of moved into this space of thinking about, okay, so now how do I relate to my queerness? In what other ways do I relate now that this thing has kind of been like fully resolved and fully like given its resolution that it needed. And I think that moving forward, when I play games with Gays of Our Lives, I think certain choices might look differently. That was a very roundabout answer.
It was great.
Awesome answer. Thank you.
Okay. What have I learned about myself or others in playing this game? I guess one of the things that kind of really sticks out is intentional vulnerability of like with Baako being a very closed off character and like having to be intentional with the moments where it's like, okay, I will open up. Okay, I'm not going to open up. I'm going to choose to do harm to someone with words or actions because those were the moves that were there. And it was a lot of like realizing, oh, that's something I kind of do in real life, of like being very intentional in how I open up or not open up to people and how much of myself I hold back. And realizing, maybe I want to approach things differently or do things differently moving forward. Because one of the things in being intentional with picking this character is with Baako's name. In Akans, it means firstborn. And I am the oldest. I have 2 younger siblings. And so there's a lot of times where I'm very much, I am the firstborn. And so here are all of the things that means. And so I kind of wanted to explore that with Baako of, here's the firstborn who now doesn't have any of the attachments that comes with. And so, yeah, so just being how that showed up in intentionality with vulnerability and what that reflects in my life.
Great. What did I learn about myself or others playing this game? I love playing NPCs. Like, I love it. Like, it's so much fun. But from Persephone, I think that I've learned that a lot of times I do try to do what's easiest for everyone else. And Persephone got to a point where she wasn't able to do that anymore because something huge happened. She wasn't going to do what was easiest. But she also she didn't put any more burden on her family. She left, you know. And I'm also an oldest child, and I like because my siblings are so much younger than me, like when I was out of the house, my parents still had people to raise, like children to raise. So like I was out on my own. So in some ways I did mimic a little bit of that of Persephone's journey, but not, or Persephone mimicked mine. I don't know. I think that I want to be able to eschew society's norms more. And I don't want to just make things easier for like people in power, you know, or just make myself, I don't want to shrink myself as much as I have in the past because I tend to be a people pleaser. And how did it impact my relationship to my own queerness? I think it just solidified my understanding of myself, and I think this is the first time that I've had a character that had a deep relationship with another character in a game, and it was streamed, and it was
pretty
like,
intense.
Yeah, right.
Like places.
Like there were many times where I was literally blushing because I'm like, we kiss. And
We're naked.
We're naked.
they're naked everywhere.
Oh.
And then Kayla's like, no, I want to make it clear why we faded to black. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, but like,
It was not
and
clear at first. I'm gonna be very. It wasn't clear. Tennille
I want to
did
be
not
clear. It wasn't
get
clear
it at first.
And then we made sure that people knew why before they were rudely interrupted. So like, I would say it impacted, I don't know, it helped me explore it more, which is really nice. And I'm glad that we have this forum and that like there's like you guys are such great welcoming players and
yeah,
it's like the perfect group to do this with. I love it.
awesome. Yeah, it is. All right, so for our goodbye ritual, we are going to identify things that we miss about our character, or thanks to any other characters at the table. I will start off, and I'm actually going to do it both. So what I will miss about Kavi is their confidence, their intellect, their boldness and presenting, and their asexual romance. And I want to thank Ezra for their willingness to be vulnerable. And I want to thank Baako for their acceptance and vulnerability, trust, and strength.
That's so cute. Listen, Ezra really let you experiment on them like a bunch of times.
I know. I wish I had something to say to Persephone, but honestly, I don't feel like our characters really got a chance to connect. We just, and I feel like if it wasn't on live stream, then we'd probably do multiple scenes.
Still be playing.
We'd still be playing. We wouldn't
be at the finale already.
We would not. Like, we'd be doing scenes, and there would have been at least one scene with just Persephone and Kavi where we could kind of like figure that out, but it just never happened, which is okay.
We did have one, and I have a clip I can put there, but I'll let everyone else go.
Yeah.
What is one thing I'm going to miss about Ezra? I am going to miss. So Ezra finally got to a place where those parts that they were trying to control were more a part of them and like in whole, right? I think that that's a really hard thing for a lot of people to feel. You know, we spend a long time, some of us spend a long time trying to find that. And so I think, I mean, Ezra put in the work. It was an intense experience to get to that place. But I think I'm gonna miss the fact that like once that clicked, they were so like they like embraced Venom and just kind of like let it be like this second piece of them that maybe had a view and perspective of the world that like they weren't perceiving. And I want to thank Persephone for, you know, seeing Ezra's monstrous heart.
Fading to black.
No, not just that.
I know.
I don't think Ezra, I know, I don't, it's not a thing. I know Ezra's story would not have been as healing for me or whole without Persephone.
Aww.
So yeah.
I guess one thing I'll miss about Baako is how they understood their feelings and emotions, because in order to not show it ever, had to know what was going on under it, which was like weird to be like, okay, what are the feelings so that I could not show any of the feelings? But I did like that, like connection to what's going on internally. And thanks to other characters, I want to thank Ezra for opening up and trusting the hunter with their monster, with their beast. And I want to thank Kavi for continuing to try and see what feelings were underneath that shell.
It was so nice. So something I'll miss about my character, Persephone. I miss like her determination. I'm gonna miss her determination. Like she made a decision, she stuck with it. That was her decision, and her willingness to like to confront her partner, like, and be like, look, you're not gonna let me love you until you love yourself, and that kind of thing. I'm gonna miss her, and her strength, I think. Yeah, I didn't expect to like her as much as I did, and I love her. She's the best. And so obviously, thank you to Ezra for going along with my mistake, which I think in the old playbooks, the question was like, what's something you're not like? The question was like, what's a secret you're keeping from me?
Yeah.
But it was actually, the question was actually, what's the
secret you're keeping for me?
Yeah.
It was
the real question. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, you keep that to yourself. Do not tell me that you're not.
And I didn't. Ezra didn't say anything.
No, but then we switched it to like Ezra knew her identity and didn't like tell anyone about it. So and I like our characters, like, they had such a good romance, and I am not ready to say goodbye to them. I'm not ready. They have to come back. And I want to thank, because our characters' romance was so integral to their development, we had a harder time connecting with some other characters, but I also love how like Kavi was so intent on like knowledge seeking, and Baako was like clamping down on those like feelings, but like also trying to grow. And so yeah, thanks everyone. I have so many warm fuzzies right now.
It was a good game. I enjoyed it. It's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah,
really, truly thank you for making this game.
Yeah,
it's like top 5 BOB games I've played, and I've played quite a few now.
I really had no idea how much I was gonna love this game. I was just like, Kayla wants to play it, sure, I'll play.
Yeah, Tennille and I weren't even gonna be in this game because we had played Punk Pride Pixies, and because of other people's schedules not working out, we're like, sure, we would like to play all the games, of course. We never said we didn't want to play the game. We just wanted to give other people a chance, and I'm so grateful that other people's schedules didn't work out.
I don't think we wouldn't have gotten the same story, and stories are important.
That's the great thing about
story to tell.
Right. And that's the great thing about belonging outside of belonging games, because everybody who plays contributes and adds something different in the story. So no matter what game you do, no matter who you're playing with, it's going to be a wonderful story, and you're going to hear their voices, and they're going to be beautiful. Just like everyone, beautiful people.
There are so many times that I had like shivers because someone took something and like blew it up to something that I had no idea that was, even like for today, like we had some ideas about our final session, but like we had no clue how it was going to play out. We're even trying to figure out scenes in the middle of breaks and stuff, and so much fun. Okay, I'll stop gushing.
Right. Well, thank you, audience, for listening. I really appreciate you guys being here.
And maybe Grand Guignol will come back. Maybe we'll go to hell. Who knows?
Yeah, Persephone's got a doomed name, Just saying, or a name for telling only sorrow. And we've got
Persephone's
Gunther
not dying, so that's
and Horse Cop. She doesn't die. She's just gone for 3 months of the year or 6. We don't know. That's all. She's just in hell for a while.
Anyways, yes.
Should we do our goodbyes to our characters?
Yes. Excellent. I will absolutely buy that game, Luke.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, please, Luke. Please. Stat.
Game about going to hell.
Well,
That's
I have a
awesome.
lot of ideas.
Hallie and I had a lot of behind the scenes conversations about Ezra and Persephone once we realized, oh, this is like an actual relationship. Like, okay. And so we had like what would happen in the future, and one of those things that came up was a rescue in hell because of Persephone's name. And
there's no way Ambrose is gonna let this go.
And Hallie was like, Stephanie might die. And I was like, absolutely not.
Kayla, like, hard no. That is a line. Persephone's not dying. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like she's gonna die.
I was pretty concerned she was going to die, which is why I literally was like, I need to find a move that I can absolutely win that allows her not to die.
I'm like really glad that you guys chose the moves you did, because like I was like, I can't just like let this be easy.
Yeah.
Okay,
good.
sorry. We gotta say goodbye to our characters. So good.
I've been Kavi, everybody. Good night.
Good night,
Good night,
Kavi.
Kavi.
Good night, but not
Taneo.
goodbye. Good night.
Good night,
Good night,
Taneo.
Taneo.
I've been playing Ezra.
Good night, Ezra.
Good night, Ezra.
And I'm Kayla.
Good night, Kayla.
I've been playing Baako.
Good night, Baako.
Good night, Baako.
And I'm Jessie.
Good night,
Good night,
Jessie.
Jessie.
Good night, Jessie.
I've been playing Persephone.
Persephone.
Good night, Persephone.
And I'm Hallie.
Good night, Hallie.
Bye, Hallie.
Does Ambrose want to be
Sure.
sick?
I've been playing Ambrose and Peter and various extras.
Good night,
Good night,
Ambrose.
Ambrose.
Peter.
Good night,
Peter, yes.
Ambrose, Peter,
Extras.
and various extras.
And I'm Jennifer.
Good night,
Hey,
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Good night.
Good night, Jennifer.
Thank you for joining us and
You're welcome.
Yes.
allowing us to not have to worry about playing the big bad, and just allowed us
Yeah.
to play our characters. So
Yes.
It was fun, and I'm glad I was able to do that for y'all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you, viewers.
yes, thank you
Yes.
all for watching with us. If you want to watch all 4 episodes, did we do 4? We did 4.
We
You
did
want to
4.
watch all 4 episodes of Grand Guignol, you can find them on YouTube. I will be uploading this episode in the next 24 hours. But the rest of them are up on YouTube now for you to watch, so you can see all of the glorious character development we had.
You definitely want to watch it from beginning
Yes.
to end, and
You do.
lots of character
I wanna-
development. It's been
Very
great.
good. Very good.
And if you need like really good
I wanna
notes on when
rewatch
things
it.
happen,
I want to rewatch it. So,
I've already rewatched some of them.
yes. So, yeah, and catch us next Friday for Friday Night Cast. We'll be back with Kids on Bikes, where we'll find out where
It's on
Lexa-
brooms.
Yeah, I keep doing that. Thank you, Tanil. I keep
You're
doing
welcome.
that. It's Kids on Brooms, not Kids on Bikes. We're playing the brooms version, where Lexa will be meeting her father in very scary woods. So I don't know what it is about sketchy fathers, but tune
Bad
in to
dads.
find out. Bad dads.
Yes.
Truly.
And just keep watching our channel to find out
Yeah.
what next we'll play on Gaze of Our Lives.
I think is our next
Like
I'm gonna-
dice through the dice tower.
our lives.
Yes, that's right. We'll be back. Gaze of Our Lives will be back January 16th with a all new game and an all new cast. None of us here on your screen will be playing, so that's exciting. You'll get to meet some new peoples, and it will probably be another Belonging Outside Belonging game. But yeah, it should be exciting. I'm excited for them. I'm
Me
You'll see the
too.
rest.
I'm also excited for a break.
Yeah. Like some of us will still be in like the chat, cheering
Yes,
each other
we'll be
on.
around
I'm sure I'll be watching. Yes.
more than likely. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. That's it.
Yep.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night,
night.
everyone.
Night.
Night.